All right, all right, all right. It looks like we are live. Welcome back to yet another Bree Hive live on lovely Tuesday. How is everyone doing today? We are back from a good weekend and we have something to cover that we have been covering for a little bit for the last couple of weeks because it just seems like something that just will not go away. I know last time I said that I feel like Diddy just will not go away, and he will not go away because we had this to cover on last Thursday's live stream, but we didn't get to it because there was a bunch of chaos going on in the Kim Kardashian lie or the Kim Kardashian lawsuit to where it kind of pushed Diddy on out the way. But Diddy is still an issue, okay? Diddy is still an issue. If you kind of know what's going on with him, he was sued by multiple people for SA. Most recently, he was sued by Rodney Jones for SA, asking for $30 million, along with a bunch of other people and record labels. Shortly after that, Diddy's two homes in Miami and LA were raided. He also has a red dog. I don't know why that's going on, but it is. It's not necessarily a problem in the cases that we're covering, but it is interesting. Why would you paint your dog red or dye it red, whatever he did to it, making it red, right? And then we had an amended filed complaint for this lawsuit, Rodney Jones lawsuit, where it added another defendant, removed some defendants, and we're gonna go through and try to find the differences in the complaints. I did not have time to go through, and I was trying to figure out how I can compare the two documents without having to read the whole entire thing. But I was too late getting to my live stream because I had a really long day today. As you guys see that I posted this stream just a couple minutes ago, like 45 minutes ago is when I posted the stream. And normally I like to get them up a little bit earlier than that. So we are going to work together to try to go through the old complaint and the new complaint to see who's added, who's not added, who's removed, whose name is being dropped, what allegations are we making against each person. We're just going to jump into it. I don't know if we'll be able to get through the whole thing this live stream, but we're gonna try to get as much through it as possible. The first complaint was 73 pages, and then the new complaint is 98 pages. And when I tell y'all, going through that docket, because it's my first time going through the docket. Normally it's Kimmy going through the docket. There are so many misfilings in this docket, and I'm just like, do y'all not practice in this jurisdiction? Which, and a lot of times for the civil cases, they do hire attorneys that don't necessarily practice in that state, but they get permission from the state to come practice because they know their case really well or they're really good at dealing with celebrities. Anyways, enough of that. We'll get more into that when the live stream starts. Hello, if you are watching live, go ahead and drop in the chat to let us know that you are here watching live. Say hello. We're going to go ahead and greet everyone. And then if you're watching on the replay, make sure you go ahead and drop in the comment section, letting us know that you are part of the Bree Hive replay crew. And so we can say hi to you there. Now, before we get started, we have to go ahead and set our like goal for the stream. We're already at 14 likes. I'm going to go ahead and reach for the stars, hoping that we'll have some more Bree Hive friends come through. And we're going to go ahead and set the like goal at 75. We're starting off strong. We're not doing 50. We're not doing 65. We're going to set the like goal at 75. So if you have not hit the like button, please do. It does help notify people that we are here live going through this nonsense of a case, and so that we can get more friends in the Bree Hive, which we got quite a few friends over the weekend after I joined Rob's live stream on Friday. If you missed that live stream, make sure you go back and talk about it. We talked about the Kim Kardashian lawsuit again, and we talked about, what is it called? Sigmund somebody Freud, the one with the stealing people's money from the stock market or whatever, stealing people's investments. We covered that lawsuit, and then we briefly talked about Diddy, and then he talked about something else, but I had to go. It was my bedtime. So if you missed the last Friday Night Frenzy, make sure you go over and watch that. And again, shout out to Rob for all the new members that he added to the chat and all the super chats that he dropped during the Thursday live stream. If you missed that live stream, make sure to go back and watch it, because that live stream was completely rogue attorney like Jeanette Braun, okay? We were Jeanette Brauning in the Thursday live stream. Why do I want to get in trouble with this lady? She already let us know that she is good to sue you, okay? She will sue you. But yeah, we were rogue attorney in that chat. So if you missed it, it was a great time. Make sure you go back and check it out. Okay, let me go ahead and say hey to everyone before I get super lost in the chat. I was about to press the button to try to make Bossy B go across the stream, but I don't know how to do that yet. So all right, let's jump into it. Who do we have here live? We got Baby Meatball stopping by early saying, hi, Bree Hive. Hope everyone is doing well. Member of the channel, hello and welcome back into the live stream. Nice to have you here tonight. I'm probably not going to say hello directly to everyone, mostly like reading the chats because I get behind in the greeting live chats now. So I'm going to try to do a little better about not getting too wrapped up in welcoming everybody into the chat individually. So welcome everyone that is in the chat, okay? We got Tanya D, also known as Destined to be a moderator and member of the channel saying, hey baby meatballs, how are you? We got Must Love Fiction saying, hey y'all, hello, welcome into the chat. See, I'm so used to doing it. It's hard for me not to do it. We got Tanya D saying, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. It's an easy way to support the channel and the Bree Hive, dropping that a membership emoji. Thank you, Tanya, for reminding everybody to hit the like button and subscribe because I never remind anyone to subscribe. And guys, we are almost at 13,000 subscribers on the channel, which we've been fighting to get there pretty much all of last year. So if you are not subscribed, but you come and you watch and you enjoy the channel, make sure you do subscribe so that we can hit that 13,000 mark so we can move up. I don't know what the goal is for the subscriber count for the end of the year, but hopefully we get some movement here. Tanya D saying, good to see you. Kimmy Locker, member, moderator, consultant, paralegal. Oh, I got that one right this time. I didn't have to think and mind bobble and any of that. Welcome to the live stream, Kimmy, who is also backstage. Nice to have you here tonight. Doodle Noise, another member of the channel saying, hi, hello, welcome in. Daniel Kinney saying, yes, hey, welcome into the live stream. We got Kayla Eloisa, another member of the channel saying, hi, hello. Kentari, another member of the channel saying, I have made it. Welcome in. I'm happy everyone is here, y'all. I almost did not stream today because work was so long and I'm like, I cannot do it. But we're doing it. We are here. Nissa Howard, another member of the channel saying, hi, Bree, hello. Just Me MD, another member of the channel saying, buzzing in and sending love from East Texas. Hey, Bree Hive, how's everyone doing? I am doing good. I hope the rest of the Bree Hive is doing good. Welcome back into the live stream. Smalls, member and moderator of the channel saying, what up, Bree Hive? Hey, Bree, hope everyone is happy, healthy, and well. Welcome in. I am doing good. Tired, but good. We're going to make it through it. We got Kristen up first saying, hi, everyone. Welcome in. We'll only be staying for a bit, but good to see you all. We are happy to have you stopping by. I think we missed you like one live stream last week, but we're happy to have you back. We got Kentari saying, sporting stitches on one of my hands. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that because I decided that sticking together a mock trial of a amigurumi, or is it? No, it's amigurumi. That's something different than an origami, right? While in a flare-up was a good idea. Well, I'm sorry, and I hope you get better soon and manage to stick the needle through two of my fingers. Oh, that sounds like it hurts. That sounds like it hurts. Tanya saying hi to everyone. Katari saying the good thing is that my meds were adjusted, so the flare-up is still there, but there is no pain. I can breathe without wanting to cry. That is good. At least that is good. That is good. Okay. Just Me MD saying, ouch to Kentari. Hope you are feeling no pain. Hope you are feeling better, right? D Finch says, I'm live. Welcome to the live. Kentari says, no pain, just stitches from stupidity. Well, we'll work on it. You know, we'll avoid things like that in the future. Tiny is saying, hey to other people. Darlene saying, Sam Bakeman Fried. Is that... What did I call him? I called him like Sam Fruman. What did I call him? Such the wrong name, but thank you, Darlene, for catching me on that. Carolyn, another member of the channel saying, hey guys, can't stay long. Hope you are having a good evening. Well, we're happy to have you as long as you can stay. Deacon Fatal, another member and moderator of the channel, saying good evening. Oh, hello and welcome back in. Carolyn Lower saying, hope everyone is safe from the spinny winds. And was it windy? I don't know. I stayed in the house the whole week. It was bad. I needed to go outside, but I didn't. And I also still haven't fixed our our 50 or our like goal thing. What was I doing this weekend? Probably nothing. What did I do this weekend? I don't know. I cooked one day. And then Sunday I did like some errand stuff I needed to do. Yeah, I was pretty lazy this weekend, but I worked out. So, that's a plus. That's good. Okay, we got Carolyn Lower saying, okay, you already got that one. Deacon Fatal gifting 20 Boss Attorney Bree memberships. Y'all, I can't hear my thing again. Here we go. Here we go where I can't hear my thing again. Okay, that's not how I do it. Okay, that's how I do it. There we go. I learned how to fix it quickly now. For whatever reason, it reset, and I'm happy I figured it out quickly. But thank you, Deacon Fatal, for gifting 20 Boss Attorney Bree memberships. Hope everyone who just got memberships is super happy to be in the membership, and I hope that I see you all in the next members live stream. If you don't know what that is, every month we do a live stream where the members get to join on live camera to talk to everyone about cases that we have been covering. So hopefully with all the new members between Rob, Deacon Fatal, I believe some other people gifted some memberships recently, not recently, on Thursday. I appreciate everyone that's gifted memberships, and I appreciate all the new members joining the channel. Hope to see you guys on the members live stream. There's so many options for people to join now. And as a member, you get cool badges and cool emojis next to your name. And Deacon Fatal supported the channel for you. So, hey, shout out to Deacon Fatal. Make sure you guys say thank you to her. Definitely appreciate it. MB says, hi, everyone. That's another member of the channel. Nicole B says, this is my first time here. I'm excited. We are happy to have you here live with us. Chantel, another member of the channel, saying hello, everyone. Hello. Deacon Fatal saying hi to MB. MB saying don't forget to like. Yes, y'all, our like goal for the stream is 75, and y'all are so amazing that we're already at 42 likes. How are we already at 42 likes? I haven't even said anything yet, but hi, hello and welcome. I definitely appreciate everyone. Darlene has become a member of the channel. Darlene is always here commenting, giving us some good chats, giving us some good information. So I'm super happy that you got gifted a membership. Welcome to the Bree-Hive membership. I don't know if I'm gonna say this right. Super Serena, I think that's what it says. 808 says, aloha, hello, welcome into the live stream. MB saying hi to Deacon. All the happy squirrels still love that name, saying hi, friends, and dropping a B emoji that I created for y'all. I'm happy with my creativity. Also a member of the channel. Everyone saying hi. Nicole B with the little smiley. That's cute. Just me MD saying, oh, Deacon Fatal coming out the hive strong with gifts. Thank you. You know that's our rich friend. That is our rich friend. I'm telling you. Deacon Fatal saying no worries. Small says, oh, being able to make what's that? Is that how you say origami? No, that's not. Amagurami. What is that? In blankets. It's why I started trying to crochet in the first place. Very cool. I don't know what that is, but I want to call it an origami. King Nuts dropping a crown and a bee. Hello, welcome into the live stream. Deacon Fatal says nothing is good. What? Deacon Fatal says I did the adulting thing. Not fun. Adulting is not fun. Oh, guys, I also have new glasses. I don't know if you guys noticed. I feel like they make my eyes look super big. Well, because I'm blind. So there's that. But yeah, new glasses. Tiny D says we had a really bad storm and tornado warnings here yesterday. I'm sorry. I hope that you are safe. I hope you're doing okay. We had a little bit of rain over the weekend, but nothing as bad as tornado warnings and storms. So I hope you're okay. Peggy Reardon says you were on Friday Night Frenzy. I was on Friday Night Frenzy. Welcome into the live stream. Christina first says, yeah, last week was pretty busy. So I was on Replay Cruise. Sad I missed the most hilarious live stream last week. That live stream was completely rogue. Like it went off the track so far. I could not pull it back, but it was a great live stream. Super fun if you guys missed it. Deacon Fatal says, please don't play that horn for me. Sorry. It was quiet for me when I played it. Zayadi says, I attended an adult Easter egg brunch and hunt on Saturday. Lots of fun. That sounds amazing. I need to start. Like, I don't know how to find fun adult activities. That's what I was doing for part of the day on this weekend. I think on Saturday or Sunday. I was trying to look up fun things I want to do because I feel like I don't do anything fun. And that is such an adult fun thing to do. I would love to do. I was kind of, not to be, bad, but I was kind of jealous of all the little kids that got to go Easter egg hunting. I thought that was unfair, but Tanya found it for adults. I need that in my life. Okay? Mackenzie Carter Cameron, hello, saying, darn it, I missed it. Replay crew likes, no problem. Welcome in. Deacon Fatal says, don't question it. Tiny D says, hey, and welcome to all the members of the Bree Hive. Yes, of course, welcome in. I know I'm going to say it wrong. Sentient Dreamer says, hello, Bree in chat, another member of the channel. Hello and welcome into the live stream. Saying Wyoming in the house as well. A member of the jury, another member of the channel. We got all the members in the channel right now. Appreciate it, love it. But our whole chat is like members and moderators for sure. Saying, girl, member of the jury says, girl, it is past my bedtime. Why are you live? This is what time I live stream. Like, it's 7:00 where I'm at. So I'm sorry, but we're happy that you popped in for sure. Deacon Fatal saying, I'm not rich, I'm comfortable. Well, we love the comfortability. Rich in our eyes, girl. Rich in our eyes. Just me, MD, saying to Tanya D. That sounds like a lot of fun. Most adults take over the kids' Easter egg hunts anyway. Might as well create one for adults. Interesting prizes, like trying to teach a baby how to freaking pick up an egg and put it in the basket, and they're just like, they don't know what they're doing. Sounds like you need to get out of the way, kid, and let the real experts do this. Tanya D saying, LOL to Deacon Fatal, being our rich friend. Yes, she was. Deacon Fatal says, I'm still under tornado watch, so I get it. Well, hopefully it's all safe there. Hopefully your Wi-Fi is nice and clear while you tornado warn with the with the swarm of the Bree Hive, right? All the Happy Squirrel says it was a good time. Yes, the live stream. Tiny D saying it just me, MD. Definitely some fun and interesting prizes. Ooh, what kind of prizes? Kristen first says, wish I could have seen the live stream in real time, but watching it on replay was just as entertaining. It had me crying. I'm afraid to go back and watch it. I still need to put timestamps on there, and the one from Tuesday. I'm so bad at doing timestamps, but I am afraid to watch it back because I feel like, and Rob pulled up my mishap, when I was stuck on the voice modifier. Yeah, on his live stream. How embarrassing, right? Kinsey saying, haha. Michelle C., member of the channel, saying, we'll have to watch the replay, but stopping by to say, hey, while I have a minute. Well, we are happy that you stopped by. Hello. And Deacon Fiddle says, I watched it and it was hilarious. I'm too scared to watch it. But yes, thank you everyone for joining in the live stream. Drop it in the chat, saying hello. Let's see where we're at. I might need to start upping our like goal. Okay, no, we're good right now. We're at 47 likes. If you haven't already, please do hit the like button. It does help us out in the algorithm, get more friends, and helps us reach our like goal. And our like goal for this stream is 75. We're at 47, 44 people watching live. So if you haven't hit the like button, please do. And we are going to get this show on the road. We got Diddy, okay? Are we tired of him yet? Are we not? Or are we not tired? Are we tired of Diddy or are we not tired of Diddy? I'm a little tired of him, but here we are. Because he still has drama going on, and this channel covers lawsuits and celebrity drama in lawsuits. That's what we cover, okay? So here we are looking at Diddy's nonsense. Once again, we have Rodney Jones suing Diddy and a bunch of other people, including his kids, and this time listing Cuba Gooding Jr. I'm going to try to see the differences between the documents. I don't know how well that's going to go. We're doing it on a live reaction, so if I screw up, I'm sorry. If you missed us covering this case previously, we covered it probably 3 weeks ago on this channel. So if you want to read the original complaint, you can go back to that live stream. Right now, we're on the second amended complaint. They already did a first one. Anyways, we're on the second amended complaint, and we're going to check it out starting now. I'm going to be tiny today because we are looking at 2 documents to kind of go over it. As we can see, we still have the same plaintiff, still mainly suing Mr. Diddy Combs. Sean Combs still has his son listed. Did not realize that his middle name was Dior, interesting middle name. As you can see, the first change that we have, Ethiopia Habatimra, I'm going to say that name wrong. She is no longer listed on this lawsuit. So that's the first change. But we do now have Cuba Gooding Jr. listed on the new amended complaint. Now, remember, he was listed in the complaint as someone who SA'd or SH'd Mr. Jones, but he was not named as a defendant. He was just kind of filling on my boy's thigh as kind of like an annoying person in the lawsuit, but now he's actually a defendant. We still have Lucian Charles Grange. He is filing, I think it's a he, is filing a motion to dismiss. I don't know if they put the notice out that they were going to file, but I can't remember if they actually filed something. But we don't have time to go over that again. All of those ones are the same. They removed one more person, I thought, but maybe, oh yeah, they removed the Chalice Recording Studios. Remember, this is where Diddy's son was shot with a gun. So don't know why they removed them. There were letters and things. I don't know if they actually explained why they removed them or just letting the court know they were removing them. So those are the initial changes. Cuba Gooding Jr. is added. Chalice Records and Ethiopia are removed. And I think that's it with that. Let's go ahead and go down. They still talking about the same thing for the jurisdiction and venue. We got Diddy still there. Son still there as a problem. We got Lucian. It's a guy. Couldn't remember if it was a guy or a girl, but he's still there. Ethiopia now gone. She has been replaced with Cuba. Good replacement, not so much. Let's see. The defendant, Cuba Gooding Jr., was a relevant actor who has fallen from grace due to several SA lawsuits and recently guilty plea of SA. Upon information and belief, defendant Gooding Jr. is domiciled. Oh, they gave his whole address. I did not have time to black these out, so don't go doxing people, y'all. Okay, we still got Christina. She's on there. Chalice, now removed. Going straight into Motown, who's still there. And then we have Universal Music Group, who just removed all of their music from TikTok. But here we are in a lawsuit with Diddy. Should have stayed on TikTok. Okay. Then we got Love Records. They're still there. And then we got Combs Global still there. Then they go into Rodney's background. It looks pretty much the same. Doesn't look too much longer. So we're not going to reread that. Rodney is a producer. He grew up doing like church. He calls himself a child prodigy. And it looks like he added one more paragraph or a couple more paragraphs. Let's see where this one is there. And then this one is there. He added these 2 paragraphs. Sorry, let me get my train of thought. So he's a producer. He got invited for Diddy to help him do the Love album and the Love album Off the Grid to basically produce some songs for him. He started working for him in August 2022. He grew up doing music, performing in the church, all of the things. We're not going to go through all of that, but let's see what the new 2 paragraphs that he added in says. During the relevant period, defendant John and J. Doe's 1 through 10 are currently unknown individuals and employees who aided or abetted in the commission and conduct complained herein and who either acted within the scope. Why are you putting this right there? Acted within the scope of their employment, defendants ratified, embraced, and added to this conduct as parties engaged in discovery. Plaintiff retains the right to amend the complaint to add these individuals. Again, he reserves the right over adding additional corporations. Okay, let's see. We got a couple of facts going on from September 2022 to September 2023. Mr. Jones produced 9 songs on the Mr. Combs Love album. From September 2022 to September 2023, Mr. Jones lived with Mr. Combs for months, spending holidays, birthdays, and major events. He traveled to his homes in the Virgin Islands, basically across state lines. He witnessed and experienced through witness statements, video and audio recordings, personal experience, and images. The claims raised in the complaint are corroborated by witness statements, video and audio recordings, personal experiences, and images in Jones' possession. So basically, he recorded pretty much everything that happened there. Mr. Combs required Mr. Jones to record him constantly. On several occasions, Mr. Combs took Mr. Jones' cell phone and began recording himself. As a result, Mr. Jones has secured hundreds of hours of footage and audio of Mr. Combs, his staff, and his guests engaging in serious illegal activity. These are not new claims. I just kind of wanted to remind us of what's going on in this lawsuit. Now, if you, and this is not legal advice, okay, y'all? If you are doing illegal things, why are you constantly having people record you? And recording yourself voluntarily. I understand that you're trying to get blackmail for other people, right? To kind of throw them under the bus, right? Mind you, if you're hanging out with people and you need blackmail against them, are they really your friends? No, he's, allegedly trying to make money. But either way it goes, why would you get in on evidence yourself? It's one thing to get everybody else for the blackmail, but why would you then have yourself recorded? As if everyone's trying to follow Diddy's life. Did he post these things? I don't keep up with him that much to know whether he was posting these things on his own social media or not. But I'm just like, why? Do you think like this is a day in the life of Diddy? Day in the life of Diddy. He talks about how he's personally witnessed, secured irrefutable evidence of acquisition of ecstasy, cocaine, GHB, ketamine, marijuana, and mushrooms, the display and distribution of unregistered illegal firearms, Mr. Combs providing laced alcohol beverages to minors' LA home in July 2023, and workers at his home in California and the Virgin Islands, Florida, and St. Bartholomew. I'm going to say that wrong. Anyways, Mr. Combs' chief of staff, Christina Karam, instructs her staff to retrieve drugs so she can provide them to Mr. Combs for his consumption. Christian Combs drugging and SAing a woman. Okay, what does that one say? Number 2. It says a complaint is forthcoming. Okay, so it sounds like the lady is going to sue his son. But that particular son is not named in the lawsuit, if I'm not mistaken. So we're on page 9. Let me go back up. I don't think that particular, only Justin is named, but he's talking about how his other son is going to be sued for the assault that he committed on someone else, another woman. And then Combs bragged about how he was going to use his relationship with TD Jakes to basically reduce kind of the backlash that came from the Cassie lawsuit against him. Young Miami's cousin and assistant SAing Mr. Jones, actor Cuba Gooding Jr. SH and Aing Mr. Jones, rapper number 3, which is supposedly Meek Mill, on the Combs yacht consorting with underage girls, workers, and R&B singer who is supposedly Chris Brown in Mr. Combs' Los Angeles home, consorting with underage girls and workers. I will never. Oh, I'm not showing the document. So that's interesting. I know, Kimmy. I see it now. We're too deep in. We're too deep in. Okay, let me go back. So either way it goes, you guys didn't need to see that, did you? Did you need to see that? Let's do it. So I will never, for the life of me, understand these grown people that have this interest in underage girls. I don't care if they're 17. I don't care if they're 16. I don't care if they have teen in their age. Why are you guys so interested in not even legal and then also barely legal women? It's weird. I don't know. Sorry. I hope not to offend anyone, but if I do offend anyone on that, I'm sorry. You kind of deserve that one. But to be unless you are also a teenage boy or girl, but like teenage adults going after teenagers is the weirdest thing, or not even teenagers, just kids, minors, underage people. The fact that we had to set a limit, an age limit for these people not to go after these people, and they still want these young people that need all of this guidance and support and barely have a brain functioning at that age. That is just the weirdest thing to me. I don't think I will ever understand the nonsense that goes on when it comes to that. Let's see where we at. Okay, so they go in to the shooting. Let me go back up. Okay. So this is the shooting where, let's see. On September 12th, they were at the Chalice recording studios. Diddy and his son were in the bathroom with Diddy's son's friend G. And then all of a sudden they heard a shot. And when they came out of the bathroom, G was holding his stomach and he was bleeding. I don't think there's anything new added into this one. So we're not going to read through that. Diddy basically told everyone to tell the police that it was a drive-by shooting, and that's how all of this happened. We got the article here. I thought this would have been a change, but no, this is something that was already in there. He basically told everyone to corroborate his story. They went ahead and added in, no, they didn't add in anything in this part. So still the same pictures of the aftermath of the shooting. Again, telling everybody to lie on his behalf. Nothing really new there except for adding a screenshot of Diddy, I believe, in the studio. Or wait, let's see. Okay, this was the last paragraph in the first one saying, as a result of the shooting, Mr. Jones is severely traumatized. Mr. Jones now suffers from PTSD, severe anxiety, depression, and insomnia. The following is an image of Mr. Combs a couple of hours before G is shot in the restroom of Chalice. You see on September 11th of 2022. The photo of Mr. Combs is taken at Chalice recording studio outside of Studio G hours before G was shot. Don't know what else that adds to it. He was there during the questioning, but taking a picture of him hours before the shooting, I don't know if that necessarily helps them. So it looks like this paragraph is added in because from the Chalice shooting, it goes straight into Mr. Jones was SH'd and assaulted by Mr. Combs. And then, let me see here. Okay. And then we get into this new area of the lawsuit that says Chalice Recording Studios and defendant Sean Combs and Justin Combs, Representative Sean Hawley, provide conflicting and intellectually dishonest accounts concerning the shooting. On or about February 28, 2024, Chalice sent an Instagram message which alleges that G was shot a half a block away from Chalice. Okay, the message says the shooting occurred a half a block away from Chalice. I hope I'm saying that right. Chalice or Chalice. And it was a result of a robbery. There are police reports corroborating this. Please wait for the facts to come out before you start contributing to the defamation of our organization. This was sent, I don't know who they're sending it to, maybe to Rodney. But the thing about the police reports, the police are not there. So you're saying that it's corroborating what actually happened. No, it's just corroborating the story that people told to the police when they got there. And what Rodney is alleging is that Diddy told the police that this happened down the street as a result of a robbery and he ran there. So of course the police report is going to say that unless there was an eyewitness, which there wouldn't be because allegedly there wouldn't be because they were in the studio. So the fact that the police report corroborates anything means nothing because the only information that the police has is whatever the people at the scene gives the police as information. So sucks to suck, but I'm sorry, you don't really help yourself there. Okay, so the Instagram message from Chalice Record Studios, upon information and belief, Sean Hawley claimed that she had evidence the shooting took place several blocks away and G returned to the studio after being shot. So he ran that far and then went into the bathroom is what they're alleging. The footnote says Sean Hawley previously represented Tory Lanez and Danny Masterson. She represented Tory Lanez in the Megan shooting. I don't know if they want to listen to her, but anyways, let's go on. Upon information and belief, TMZ reports that their law enforcement sources claim that the story that was told to cops that night, namely the victim was robbed at gunpoint and shot by unknown assailants outside. The gunshot victim G stepped outside of the studio around 3:30 a.m. and was accosted by two individuals at which they tried to rob him. The man suffered a gunshot wound. Below is an image of the front of Chalice Recording Studios. Lovely picture. In the photo above, the white van is blocking the security gate. Upon information and belief to enter the building, you must buzz the gate and announce which session you are there to attend. Upon information and belief, once the correct session is confirmed, you then must go past another layer of security before you can enter the reception area. Basically, probably trying to establish that he wasn't shot outside and then just let immediately into the building. Upon information and belief, once inside the reception area, you must identify yourself and the receptionist will check to ensure that you are on the list of visitors for that session. Once you are confirmed, you are allowed in. Upon information and belief to get to the restroom where G was bleeding out, you would have to follow a maze. Once you've passed the receptionist, you walk down a long hallway, walk past 3 recording studios, turn left and go past the lounge area before you arrive at the restroom where G was bleeding out. Upon information and belief, TMZ also reported that Mr. Combs and Mr. J. Combs were not in the studio when the police arrived. That was factually inaccurate. Mr. Combs and J. Combs were located in G's studio, Studio G, across the parking lot from the building where G was shot, near Studio A. Mr. Combs and J. Combs hid out in the recording studio G while the police investigated and were the first to depart after officers left. They go ahead and post a sign of, I guess, the assignment list for that day. Upon information and belief, after being shot in the torso and hip/leg, G was physically incapable of walking. Therefore, the notion that he was shot several blocks away, Sean Hawley said, half a block away, or that he stepped outside of the studio is implausible. If G could do so as much walking as Sean Hawley and CRS claim, then Mr. Jones would not have been required to physically pick him up off the restroom floor and walk him through the maze that is CRS for him to receive care from the ambulance. Now, another argument that could be made there is that he ran all the way there based on adrenaline pumping, and then when he got there, he could no longer get up from that point. So there is argument to be made there. I don't know if him being unable to walk later on after being shot versus if he were shot like 10 minutes ago, he came in, bled out some more, and now he's unable to walk. Those are plausible things. So I get where they're going with that, but it's not the strongest point, but he does also have a point on his side. If G could do so much, okay, I think I got that one. Okay. As of the date of filing, neither Los Angeles Police Department nor the Los Angeles Fire Department has released any official reports surrounding this shooting. There has been no body camera footage or 911 call recording. What is even more disturbing is that there has been no sighting of G. Where's G? I had that question when we covered this before. This guy just disappeared? Willingly or unwillingly? Or he just not messing with those folks anymore? The LAPD has only released a vague written news release dated September 12, 2022. The unfortunate shooting of G and the unexplained disappearance of G, the lack of disclosures by the LAPD and LAFD, and the incoherent nature of Sean Hawley and Chalice Records Studios' account of the shooting raises more questions than answers, point to foul play and an apparent massive cover-up. Now, what I will say is if you think that Chalice Records, whatever you want to call it, did all of these things, right? Why did you remove them from the lawsuit? That's what I would like to know. They're removed from the lawsuit. Are you filing your own individual lawsuit against them? Why are they no longer named in the lawsuit if you're claiming that they're giving false stories? Is it because they're going to testify on your behalf? What's going on? Because they're sending Instagram messages. Are they on your side? That's what I would like to know. Let's go ahead. Let's see. The deafening silence from the attendees of the CRS shooting stems from understandable fear that the attendees would be sued by Mr. Combs for violating a non-disclosure agreement. Are they scared that they're going to be sued or scared they're going to be pew-pewed? Those are the questions that need answers, because this is what you're alleging. You're alleging that Mr. Diddy has a bunch of hitmen and he can X you off the planet just as quick as you got here, which a lot of people took a long time to get here because it takes at least 9 months. Some of y'all come early, but we're not talking about you overachievers, okay? We're talking about babies that develop overnight. What does that have to do with the lawsuit, Bree? But no, you're claiming that Diddy will X you out, right? So is he going to sue you? No. If you're alleging what you're alleging, you're probably claiming he's going to pew you. But anyways, let's go on. Upon information and belief, a few days before the September 12, 2022 shooting inside of Chalice Records Studios, Mr. Combs required all attendees of the CRS shooting to sign a non-disclosure agreement. Mr. Jones did not sign the agreement. So Mr. Jones is yapping because he didn't sign the agreement. A copy of the non-disclosure agreement that a witness who has asked to remain anonymous provided this writer to attach as attachment A. Now, I haven't downloaded this non-disclosure agreement. Let me know if y'all want to cover the non-disclosure agreement on an upcoming stream. Not today. Go ahead and drop ones in the chat if you do want to cover that non-disclosure agreement. Drop a 1 in the chat. Okay. So Mr. Jones was SH'd and assaulted by Mr. Combs. Okay. Now they're going to go into his time living with Mr. Combs. The events happened in he did unauthorized groping and touching of his anus by Mr. Combs. Now, I still have questions about this. How do you, and don't get too graphic, y'all, in the chat, okay? How do you grope someone's anus? Don't answer. Don't answer in the chat, okay? It's just a question that I have. How do you grab someone's butthole? Okay? I don't know. It sounds weird. It's not saying that it didn't happen to you, sir. It just sounds like a weird thing to put. But he also said there's touching of his butthole. And I'm just like, how do you let someone get that deep? I mean, unless you have really flat cheeks, I guess it'll be easy access to the butthole. But who am I? I'm not a butthole expert, okay? Am I going to get flagged? Am I gonna get flagged for this? Not a butthole expert, y'all. It sounds weird. Now, I don't agree with unwanted touches, but I think just saying he groped my butt in like my backside, but to say he groped your anus, that's just a little bit far of a stretch for me. But it could have happened. If people do weird things. I don't know. It occurred all over the world: LA, New York, Florida, St. Bartholomew, I don't know how to say that, and the Virgin Islands. In addition to the unsolicited and unauthorized touching, Mr. Jones was forced by Mr. Combs to work in Mr. Combs' bathroom as Mr. Combs walked around naked and showered in a clear glass enclosure. What were you guys working on? He goes on to basically say the same things that we already covered in this case. He tried to tell Kristen to make it stop. She didn't make it stop. You know how Diddy is. He is a gropey guy. Mr. Combs attempted to groom Mr. Jones into engaging into gay sex. Mr. Combs knew that Rodney was a big fan of Stevie J, who was also a producer in the hip hop space. Basically told Mr. what's his name? Jones, sorry, the pictures were coming up. Told Mr. Jones that Stevie J engaged in gay sex, which is fine. If that's what you like, that's what you like. But they were basically trying to convince Mr. Jones, who already told them that he was straight and a Christian man, that he didn't want to do the gay sex. So Diddy tried to convince him by saying, oh, even your favorite producer does this. Everyone does this. even your favorite producer, Stevie J. And then he proceeds to send him pictures of Stevie J or videos of Stevie J engaging in sexual contact with another man. Awkward. I don't know about you, but if that's not what you're into, seeing a video of it is not going to encourage you to do it. Okay, they shared the video according to the informed Jones that he had engaged. Okay. And then this is the part where he also claimed that he engaged in acts with Usher, poor Usher, and Meek Mill. I believe that's who they claim. Yes. Yep. Which he said he performed at the Super Bowl so quick and had a successful Las Vegas residency. And why I say poor Usher is because his mama sent him there as a child. Okay. He was exposed to this very, very young. Very young. And I feel bad for him because of it. Now, as an adult, get therapy and move on. But I also feel sad for him because of trauma. Let me go ahead and scroll past the pictures. The pictures were in the first complaint of people looking like they're engaging in intercourse, or I guess a video of people engaging in intercourse. But in the new complaint, there are footnotes that say, let's see here. Footnote says, this writer is in possession of the video and will provide a copy to the court. Thank you. Thank you for not putting corn in a freaking complaint, sir. Thank you. And then upon information and belief, Stevie J denies that he is the person in the video. A male porn star claimed that he was the black male in the video. Mr. Jones stands by his position that Mr. Combs provided him with the video and identified the individual as in the video as Stevie J. So at least the corn star came out and said, that's not Stevie J, it's actually me. Thank you for saving Stevie J, corn star man. Let me go ahead and jump in the chat real quick because we do have a super chat from Deacon Fatal saying, now I personally don't like Love or Diddy. I don't like Love or Diddy. That being said, oh wait, it's not pulled up. Let me go. Here we go. I personally don't like / love Diddy. That being said, where there is smoke, there is fire. Ask Alexa if Diddy did diddle dudes. How many dudes did he diddle? And they will answer. Thank you, Deacon Fatal, for the super chat. You said don't do the horn, so I would just do claps. Thank you very much for the super chat. $20 super chat. Definitely appreciate the support on the channel. You've dropped 20 memberships and then also $20 super chat. I definitely appreciate it. Ask Alexis if Diddy did diddle dudes. How many dudes did he diddle? And they will. I like the rhyme. That was a good one. Did you come up with that? That was a good one. I definitely appreciate the super chat. I'm going to have to jump into chats in just a moment because they are piling up. But did I want to get, and they go, and let me get through a little bit more of this and then we'll jump into chat real quick. These ones are the same. He then talks about the Young Miami. SA by Young Miami's cousin. Basically, this girl is trying to grope on him, follow him to the bathroom, get with him because Diddy told him to hook up with this chick right here in the Burberry hat. And then we got the Trafficking Victims and Protection Act. This is where he accused them that he solicited S workers to perform S acts to pleasure Mr. Combs. Okay, we got some S workers that Mr. Combs forced Mr. Jones to bring back to his home, made Mr. Combs engage in activity with this S worker. He woke up with this girl and the first thing he decided to do was take pictures of her. I understand he's claiming he was drugged, but I mean, I think it's a little strange that the first thing he does is take pictures of this girl. It looks like he changed a little bit of the wording here. So this one says later that evening, he required Mr. Jones to solicit S workers from Booty Trap, which is crazy. And then he says, according to Mr. Jones, it's basically the same thing, but he added according to him. Okay. I think we'll stop right here for the booty trap on the river. Oh, it's called the booby trap on the river. Bree, it's time to get off of this lawsuit. I should not have covered this tonight. Calling it a booty trap on the river is wild. It's wild. Bossy B, bring us back to some order here. Okay, we got chats coming in. I'm gonna try to make sure that they are on the topic. Kimmy already kind of sorted through them for us, so shout out to Kimmy for that. If you guys have any comments on anything that we've covered so far, the most changes that we've seen is that they're now claiming that Stevie J is no longer the person in that video, and there's more information about the shooting and if he was shot outside, then why this and why that. Interesting points that they are arguing there. So let's see again. Thank you to Deacon Fatal for the gifted memberships. Definitely appreciate that. Kristen first says, Rob did you dirty. Yes, he did when he brought up my malfunction. Mackenzie Carter Cameron says, Rob, get it together. LOL. Peggy Riordan says, you on Voice Changer was hysterical. Gotta have a sense of humor. Makes life easier for sure. No, definitely agree. It was fun. It was fun, interesting, embarrassing. Love it. I'm on YouTube. I'm on live stream. I know I'm going to get embarrassed at all times pretty much. Let me see here. Okay. We are not tired of the tea on Diddy, but I am tired that he have gotten away with his antics for decades. And hopefully this is the time that they catch him, right? Hopefully this is the end of Diddy. Assuming that all of this stuff is true, like they said, where there's smoke, there's fire. But right now, this is just allegations and shade and booby traps, okay? Sakatoa says, more like tired of waiting to see what was found during the raids. We are waiting on it. We are waiting for the results of the raid. Chantel says, I'll be tired when he's prosecuted and convicted. Until then, I'm happy to keep dragging him. And that we will continue to do. Kimmy Locker says Chalice was removed without prejudice. So you're thinking they could potentially bring him back. But at the same time, they were just a music studio. So what could they have done, right? It's not like they let people in to rob them. So I can see what liability that they have because Diddy shot him in the record studio, right? So there's that. I mean, I guess unless they had like a no guns policy, but they let Diddy bring a gun in there, then maybe they're liable because he's saying he has PTSD from that incident. But interesting points. Sakatoa says, oh, Cuba has been charged back in the 90s too. Yeah, he always, wrong word, about to say, he always rubbed me ass. Don't want him to rub me. No, but he always came off to me as a creep, even in movies. So there's that. Mackenzie Carter Cameron says, so what you are saying is there are tons of twists and turns to come in Diddy Gate. Yes, Diddy Gate is out of control. Deacon Fatal says, who is writing this? The lawyer? Tanya D says, crazy how he took people out of the complaint but added 20 pages, right? More information for us, huh? More information. Deacon Fatal says, I told you they went in for the film, with the recording everybody. Just Me MD says Diddy may not have been on that jet, but I bet a lot of evidence was. Ooh, good point. I didn't think of that. That's a good point. There probably was a lot of evidence on the jet and he's just casually strolling by like, haha, evidence is gone and dropped in the ocean for all y'all know at this point. Mackenzie Carter Cameron says the Deacon Fatal, I'm not any legal expert and never worked in the field. I keep hearing the same criticism about filing in affidavits. I don't know what Deacon Fatal said at first, but yeah, there's a lot of messed up filings there. Deacon Fatal says to me, I think this is also a psychological question. Which one? Deacon Fatal says, yeah, that swallowed sermon didn't go over well. Yeah. Carolyn Lower says, LOL, the text is always harder to read on my phone anyways. Yeah. Oh, about me making the screen bigger. Mackenzie Carter Cameron says, so true. I hate when airplanes fly over my house, y'all. I get so much anxiety. Mackenzie Carter Cameron says, the frontal cortex is not even fully developed until 25. Oh, is that the question that you were referring to, Deacon Fatal, about I will never understand how these old people like children. And I think even young women, like if you're a young woman, and I would say between 18 and 23, if a man that is 30 or even late 20s is trying to talk to you, he's probably a loser. That's just my opinion. It's from experience. It's from watching other people experience it. It's from me being in my late 20s now and experiencing it. If you are talking to young girls like that, you are probably a loser and you can't get a girl your age. And you can say you don't want a girl your age. Okay, that's fine. You're just creepy. Sorry for anyone that has large age gap relationships, but I think particularly when the person is super young, like under 23, and the person is older, I think that's bad. Deacon Fatal says, because they are easy to manipulate, Bree. They look for people easy to manipulate. Money, never had money. Don't know how to say no. Yeah, right. They don't go after people that's willing to beat them up, right? And I saw a TikTok where they said they go after people like how we're seeing all of these people like Sexy Red and Young Miami and like the Ghetto Girls, Ice Spice. Ghetto Girls becoming famous is because it's like they said, what did they say? And this is not my opinion. It makes sense to me, but somebody else said it. You're already willing to do like bad things, grimy things, for lack of a better word, with no money. How about I give you some money and you do more grimy things for me? So yes, I'm going to transfer the drugs for you. Yes, I'm going to go recruit young girls for you. Yes, I'm going to do all those things for you because now you're giving me money. And I was doing it for basically pennies on a dollar before I became this rap star, right? Like, are any of these rappers really that talented right now? Or is it just, okay, they're willing to turn a blind eye to crazy things that's going on? Because for me, if I went to a Diddy party and you're telling me that they're putting ecstasy in the cranberry juice, we're going to have a real problem. They're going to have a lawsuit on their hands, right? Or if I go to a Diddy party and I see 16-year-old girls there, 15-year-old girls there, 70. If I see an 18-year-old girl there, we're probably going to have a problem, right? So they're not going to bring people there that are going to blow the whistle. They're going to bring people there that don't care, or that it was done to them, and that they don't care about protecting the young girls and the young boys and whoever else that they're bringing, right? They're bringing the people that are willing to turn a blind eye. And I thought that was a really good point that person brought up. I can't remember exactly what they said, but it was something along those lines. So right about that, Deacon Fatal, wanting to manipulate. Tanya D says, a guy friend of mine said their rule is to avoid dating anyone more than 7 years their junior. I think that's a good rule, unless you're in your 20s. I think that's a good rule unless you're in your 20s. I think it has to be less than 7 years or within 7 years, but over 25. So if you're like 29, I don't think you should go down to 22. Some people do. I would, even when I was younger, probably like a 4-year age gap, but I've dated people that were like 7-year, 8-year age gap when I was younger than 23. And those people, I look back, they were losers. But guess what? They could impress me with a movie date because I didn't have any money. Okay. They pay their car note. I didn't have a car note at that point. So it's easy to impress someone that young. Those people were losers and they could not get girls their age. I could tell you that for sure. They could barely keep me, and they didn't keep me actually. So yeah, I would say 7, that's a good rule. 7 years junior, but over 25. That's what I would say. Just Me MD says, I'm like, why would children need to know what the industry is like that age, i.e. Usher, Justin Bieber, Puffy Combs, attendees, etc.? I'm sure they just cringe every time those videos are played. And it's so, my thing is like the parents letting that happen. Like, why are the parents letting their kids, I can understand if they were 18, but we're talking about like a 13-year-old Usher, 14-year-old Usher going to stay with Diddy for summers at a time, not seeing his mom. And the mom, she didn't go to the parties. She didn't know what was happening. I mean, she probably had an idea of what was happening, but she wasn't out there, right? Why would you leave your kid unattended for that long with a grown man? Why does any grown man want to hang out with a 14-year-old boy for months on end? It's weird. Chantel says, I'm sorry, we're off topic. Chantel says, because they have power and control over pure innocence, especially the underage. Yeah, I agree with that. They're just there, but oh, these people let me drink. These people let me do this thing. Oh my gosh, I woke up passed out. It was so fun, not knowing how much danger that they're in. Mackenzie says, suck to suck. Yeah. Yeah. Carolyn always says, is our like goal 65? It is 75, and we are surpassing the like goal. We are there. We are at 76 likes with 65 people watching live. But if you haven't hit the like button, please do. It still helps us out in the algorithm. And I think we can pass 100 likes this live stream. Shout out to the Bree High. I love doing that. Okay, y'all. I am going to play our like goal warning. If your speakers are up, turn it down because there's a big explosion that I have not fixed yet. So here we go. 3, 2, 1, like goal. We have reached our like goal. Shout out to the Bree Hive. We have been killing the like goals all these streams. Like, I'm super excited how much we have been killing the like goals lately. So shout out to the Bree Hive. Kimmy, can we take down the Diddy lawsuit banner? The scrolly one is fine, but thank you. That was quick. Thank you. So yes, like goal was 75. Shout out to the Bree Hive for hitting the like goal. Love that. Chantel says, I wonder if any cops will get into trouble due to this investigation. I don't know. None have really been named right now, so we can't really go that deep into that. Deacon Fatal says it is plausible. Yeah, once they start getting name dropped, then potentially. Mackenzie Carter Cameron says, I have so many questions for real. Yeah. I think there will continue to be questions until we get this guy behind bars or until he maybe, eliminates himself like someone named Epstein. But, we're not going to wish ill will onto people. So, yeah, pretend like I never said that on live. That's recorded and in the internet forever. Deacon Fiddle says, press his X for doubt. JC says they need more than information and belief. Yeah, there and that will come from discovery, right? Defense says, is there blood on the concrete on the way to the studio? I didn't see blood on the concrete, but there was in like the bathroom photo, if that's what you're talking about. Carolyn Lower says, is G dead or missing? They're saying that Rodney Jones is alleging that he hasn't been seen since. So he could be unalive or he can be missing or he should be hiding. I don't know. They did not say this in the last lawsuit. So there hasn't been much speculation on that. Deacon Fatal says, to me and others have been looking if the guy that held his umbrella is right or not. What guy with the umbrella? Deacon Fatal says, could be both. Tanya D says, thanks everyone for hitting the like button. Yes, of course. Thank you. We already reached our like goal. So shout out to the Bree Hive for that. Carolyn Lower says, so we still don't know where he is. G? No, we don't know where G is at this moment. Just Me MD says to Carolyn Lower, they claim he is in the States and not hiding. I disagree. Where is he? Why hasn't he showed his face? I don't know. That's my first time hearing about it. Sentient Dreamer says, that's so specific. Again, thank you, Deacon Fatal, for the super chat saying, ask Alexa, if Diddy did diddle dudes, how many dudes did he diddle? I love that. Like, that's so creative. I'm not that creative. Peggy Reardon says, do you think that their attorney offered a quick settlement offer to keep their names out of the lawsuit? Maybe. Or maybe they don't think that they have enough on them. I think that Ethiopia is going to testify on their behalf. The Chalice records, I just don't see where their liability would be. But they may have also volunteered to testify on their behalf. But if they did, that Instagram message is going to be a problem for them, right? Mackenzie Carter Cameron says to Peggy Reardon, that's the vibes I'm getting. Mackenzie says, I feel like most people wouldn't know, but then again, I don't know. Mackenzie says, it's definitely not normal. Agreed. Small says, Jesus to DX. Yeah, appreciate it. Small says, do we have a MBB already? Not yet, but it does sound, I forgot for the nomination. We need a We need a little display for that too. MBB looking like Deacon Fatal at this point. Any other nominations? Feel free. All the happy squirrel says I'm not a bow expert. Breathe 2024. Why do I get on the internet and say embarrassing things? I am not a powerful expert, and I don't understand how he gets there without, like, never mind. We're not going to go into it. Mackenzie said, it's never happened to me, and nobody I know in real life has ever said it's happened to them as far as the groping a butt. Tiny says no nominee yet to small, so we have Deacon Fatal as the only nominee so far. Mackenzie says Bieber. Justin Bieber he was signed by Usher, I believe. So he probably does have some dealings with Diddy. And now Justin Bieber is just like not the Justin Bieber he was when I was a kid, right? Peggy says, what mother sends her small kid to an adult male's home, or did I misunderstand that? He literally, Usher's mom sent Usher with Diddy for months at a time, where he didn't see her, and her only requirement is that when she calls, Usher has to get on the phone with her. So nightly calls, maybe. He would talk to his mom on the phone. Back then, we're not doing FaceTime, right? We didn't have FaceTime back then. I don't even know if we had video chat at that point, because I believe that was still in the 90s. So yeah, she's not seeing her son. She's wants your son to be famous. And I bet you he probably hasn't even told her all the trauma he went through, that I'm assuming he went through while in Diddy's care. Who gives their kid to someone else, man, grown, whatever? Who gives the custody and the care, the guardianship of their kid to some random Joe Schmo who's talking about he's going to make your kid famous? Now, did Usher become famous? Yes. But do I think that Diddy made him famous? Not really. Maybe I don't know enough about the music from when he was working with Diddy, but did Diddy produce Usher songs? I don't know. I don't know about that. Either way it goes. Let's go. Shoot, I must mess it up. Shuchino Noko says, was it me? Yeah, right? Deacon Fiddle says, Love and Diddy are the same person. Oh, okay. Got it. Just Me MD says, exactly, Bree. Seeing those videos surfing of Usher as a kid and the ones thereafter is a clear example of why would your child need to know that side of the industry, professionals grooming. I actually haven't seen any of the videos. Do I want to go look them up? Probably not. But I'm basing it off. I just watched like a documentary of like why Usher's mom is like the woman behind the man, and she's like this great person. But I couldn't even get past the part where she sent him to Diddy 4 months at a time, and then these lawsuits start coming out. So, and I had watched it like right before the lawsuits start coming out. So I haven't seen the videos of Usher with the grown men, but it's weird. And I mean, it's a lot of famous people. It's not just Diddy. They're trying to teach these boys to be men, but they're not men. They're boys. And why does being a man involve hooking up with girls? Right? There's so many other avenues to be a man, but hooking up to girls is the first thing you want to introduce them to. I don't think it's appropriate. Alicia Vasquez says, I came in at just the right time. I don't know about that one. Chantel says, those videos of Justin Bieber are also very disturbing. I haven't seen them. I'm sure they will be popping up on my timeline now that we're talking about them. Just Me MD says, wondering how did Jones make it out with so much evidence? We see what's allegedly hushed a lot of others. It sounds to me like Diddy pretty much trusted him. I don't know if that's the reason why, but it does sound like Diddy trusted him. He was having Jones do the recordings on his own phones rather than Diddy kind of controlling whether things were being recorded. I'm sure Diddy had parties where people couldn't even bring their phones in. And so the fact that Jones had his phone, it sounds like he was a trusted member or just somebody's who butt he wanted to touch. So he was being nice to him. I don't know. Charlene Anderson says, hey, Bree, my first live. Loved you on Law and Lumber on Friday. The voice changer killed me. Welcome into the live stream. Thank you for coming over and joining us. I hope that you are enjoying. I know the topic is a little gruesome, right? Just Me MD says, honey, here we go. Honey, this smoke is burning worse than him, right? Where there's smoke, there's fire. We are in the hell zone, right? On this one. Mackenzie says, or old and rich. Mackenzie says, it will never work long term. As far, I don't know exactly what you're referring to there. I'm so far behind and I don't remember what I said 15 minutes ago. Peggy says the older fellows who go after the young girls are doing so because they are counting in the girls being easy to manipulate and can be intimidated easily. Exactly. Perfectly put. Perfectly put. Intimidated easily and easily manipulated, easily impressed too. Like, this person really likes me. They bought me Starbucks 3 days in a row, right? And very easy to impress a young girl. Alicia says the age gap between 60 and 40 feels very different than 20 and 40. I agree. At the starting age, for sure. You're both already experienced life. You might have a marriage and a divorce under your belt, all of the things, versus first time out of house and you never paid a bill before, right? It's a lot different. Smalls agrees it's way different. Mackenzie says white girls do it too. It's different type of prostitution. And it's everywhere. Like I said, we got Epstein. He didn't go after black girls, right? He was going after the white girls. We got Diddy. I didn't see no white girls in his videos or his the pictures on his lawsuit. So each of them have a type. And they're gonna do it. And people commit crimes against people in their own communities way more often than they do try to like bring other people from different communities. Not the only way, but most times the way that you're going to get people outside of your community being involved in these kinds of things is if they're voluntarily going there. So if you have like an Asian girl that's always hanging out with black people, or a white girl that's always hanging out with black people, they will end up in those situations. But the white kids that only hang out with white people, they would not end up at Diddy's party, right? They might end up at Epstein's party. So there's things like that. I'm just going to say Black Epstein basically is who he is. They're making him out to be and I'm saying way worse than Bill Cosby, but I mean, it's all bad, but Bill Cosby was going after adults. Now, should he have been drugging people? No. But we got freaking Diddy with all these grown men and then bringing these young girls. I can understand because Diddy had younger sons, but his sons are also not underage. Like, he's hanging out with girls his daughter's age. Are your daughters at the party? But then he also let his daughters dress half naked for their 16th birthday. So, I mean, is he father of the year? No. Right? Charlene says money, power, and fame have ruined more people than you count. It's sad. It is really sad. And I hope people stop with that sooner rather than later. Mackenzie says young and dumb, naive and ignorant. Agreed. Tanya D says, well, I'm old, so my friends are over 40. and Tanya, would you then go and try to date like a 21-year-old dude? Probably not, right? But maybe, I don't know. But no, it's all, we got the Drea 39 with the little young basketball star 21, 22. He hasn't even like paid taxes for real yet, right? He hasn't even paid taxes. He hasn't have a bankruptcy yet. He hasn't faced a bankruptcy yet. And you're telling me you're going to go have a baby by a dude that's the same age as your son? Not you, Tanya, but talking about Drea. But yeah, it's ridiculous. Mackenzie says that the Michael Jackson argument, as far as the being young, Mackenzie says, why would you let your kid go? Oh, the Michael Jackson. Yeah. Why would you let your kid go sleep in the bed with Michael Jackson? It's just weird. Why? That's so strange. But they're like, oh, it's a famous person. Let them, like, do they not realize that these famous people eat people alive, eat kids alive? Like, when they say that they, take the young people so they can take their souls so they can live longer, I wouldn't be surprised if that's a real thing. I really wouldn't. Mountain Princess 207 says, it was me. I forgot the like button. Problem fixed. Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you. Charlene Anderson says, liability, letting firearms into the studio. That's what I'm thinking they would try to get them to. But they would also have to know that the firearms came in, right? Small says, I second Deeks for the MBB, dropping some Bree Hive emojis. Okay, she's on the list. Oh, the list of one. We love it. KL Burke says, what? No, not the Beebs. Two, I got here way too late. We haven't covered anything on Bieber, but people are mentioning that there's some videos out about him too. Small says Jermaine Dupri did more for Usher's career than Diddy ever did. That's what I'm like, I don't really remember Diddy being that involved in Usher, but I could just not know the stats behind the music. I don't know. Kelly H, member of the channel, saying that's bonkers. Why worried about sending my I'm worried about sending my kids to their friend's house, let alone an adult house alone with no other kids, right? I mean, I guess Diddy did have kids, but they weren't sending Usher over there to play with his kids. They were sending Usher over there to get introduced to the industry, right? Bad. Charlene says Usher said he would never send his kid. That says a lot. That says a lot, but maybe he may have allegedly brought Justin Bieber. He didn't care about that kid. Small says that's toxic type of masculinity. It harms men just as much as everyone else. I wasn't laughing at your comment. I was laughing at Spicy Vet Med Geek's name. Sorry. Love that name. But yeah, no, and they just let it go on, right? They let it go on, and it really shouldn't be going on. Spicy Vet Med Geek says, I finally caught a live, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited to have you here. I love the name. It made me giggle at inappropriate time, but the name is cute. Brian and Jill W says, I'm excited to be here. We're happy to have you here live. Kimmy Locker says Ethiopia was dismissed in exchange for her submitting a declaration to Jones' attorney. It's referenced a lot later on, mostly in the context of Grange and Universal Music Group providing money. Thank you for that, Kimmy. We have not even touched the surface of the new allegations. Because the chat, I love the chat, it's so interactive, but we are behind. I'm gonna try to catch up on the rest of the chats, Kimmy. So if you could try not to star as many chats, and then we're gonna jump back into the lawsuit. We're like an hour in, and we have only scratched the surface. So Chantel says, per Radar Online, Ethiopia says she didn't agree to testify against Diddy. It was a lot of backtracking. And I anticipate even if she did submit a declaration or even if she did agree to testify, she can very easily get on the stand and backtrack and just have unreliable testimony. This is not a criminal case. She's not going to get in trouble for basically saying that she's going to do something and then not doing something. Like if her deal falls through, there's really no deal, right? She's not going to, I mean, if she perjures herself, sure, she can go to jail. But if the jury just finds her unreliable because she said this and she said that, and then she couldn't remember this, she could literally get up there and say, oh, I don't know. Oh, I don't know. Oh, I don't know. And then the case is trash, right? So dismissing her, getting a deal in a civil case is not really a deal, like in a criminal case, right? Chantel says Ethiopia also kept contradicting herself, aka lying. Who's advising her? Because I'm like, ma'am, really? And the thing is, people are going to use this against her when it comes to testifying, right? Kimmy says to Chantel, Ethiopia already submitted the declaration to Jones's attorney, which was filed as an exhibit with the court that says she could and would testify if called to do so. Doesn't mean she's going to be the most reliable witness. I did see that file. I did not download it. I don't know if it was downloadable. Sorry, it was downloadable, but I don't know if it was free yet. Basically, I don't know if it was free yet. Smalls, thank you for the reminder for iPhone users with no join button who want to become official members of the Bree Hive. Here's the link. Thank you, Smalls. Always appreciate you dropping the link in the chat to become a member of the channel. Charlene says, does anyone else wonder what J-Lo knows? Yes. Yes. I don't know how much that's going to come up in this lawsuit. I know it's briefly in here, but we'll see. Mackenzie Carter Cameron says, I was more mentioning about women sleeping with rich, powerful for money. Sorry if I didn't clarify right. Oh, no problem. I just get distracted because I'm talking about so many things. But yeah, no, it happens. It happens, and I think they get them young. And then there's certain women that just never grow out of it. But I mean, like, if you're an adult woman, get your bag, sis. But don't bring young girls into it, right? Don't become a pimp to young girls, okay? If you want to do that, that's fine. Brian and Jill W says, Bree, question. Do you think that the feds are hoping to get some of Epstein's peep through P. Diddy? Thinks paths ever cross? I wonder because of plain records requested. I don't know if they will overlap. Like, do we really see Diddy hanging out with Epstein? I don't know. Yes, there were some people that hang out with Epstein, like allegedly Chris Tucker, allegedly Obama went to the island. I don't know if it was for those purposes, but there were some other people that went to the island where people tested or has spoken up for them, saying no, they never engaged in the weird stuff. And then there's people saying that certain people engaged in the weird stuff, right? Like the pool guy and the certain people that have nothing to lose by saying they were there for this purpose or not. But I don't know. I don't think they'll cross over, but the celebrity world is so small. It's possible. I don't know if they will get Epstein people through Diddy rather than just getting them through Diddy. I don't know if they'll make that connection. So I'm sorry, I don't have a better answer for you on that. Peggy says, let's hope he didn't abuse his daughters. Hopefully, because he probably thinks they look like his ex too. So hopefully. Oh, that made me sad. Spicy Vet Meg Geek says, I think the 90s players are all going down faster than 90s closing that came back. And apparently we got 50 Cent saying a whole lot of mess, but apparently his baby mama is also one of the S workers. So now he's seeking custody of the kids. Is he going to get it? I don't know. I don't know if he's going to get the custody or not, but 50 Cent is wild, and a lot of people, and I haven't been keeping up with all the comments that different celebrities have been making, but a lot of people said like 50 Cent pretty much stayed away from Diddy and his nonsense, which I can appreciate. I can really appreciate not being involved in that creep type of stuff. Okay. So yeah, I think that the 90s people are going down, and it sounds like it's probably going to be more karma than anything, right? Just Me MD says, when I see just the casual video / photos from parties like Epstein, Diddy parties, after parties, music videos, etc., everybody get the side eye. Yeah. If you're even associated with them, we're side eyeing you over here, right? Brian and Jill W says, smells like child abuse to me, but I'm an old child welfare worker. I trust my gut. Yeah. Yeah. I don't see how you can get around it. Why are you hanging out with children? Like that's and it's not like you're taking them to a play date with your children, right? You're just having your children around adults. It's weird. Mary Malarkey says 95 likes. Are we at 95 likes? Shout out to the Bree Hive. I'm seeing 96 likes. Can we get to 100? If you haven't hit the like button, please do. It does help us out in the algorithm. It helps us have more friends here live. We had like almost 80 friends just a moment ago. We had a lot of friends in the Bree Hive. Love that for us. Brian and Jill W says, I'm up for a marathon live. I have to go to work tomorrow. I love it here. I do, but I already know I'm streaming late and I have work in the morning. Kelly H says, Princess Harry. Prince Harry. Yeah, okay, I got it. Prince Harry, and they also said his brother too, Prince Williams as well. Mackenzie Carter Cameron says, Diddy more Hollywood, Epstein more politics and old money. Yeah, I don't think they were friends. I don't think Diddy was like rich enough or cool enough. We're talking about billions when we're talking about Epstein. We're talking about millions and maybe some thousandaires. Talk about some Stevie J. Let me shut up before I get in trouble on the internet. But yeah, we're talking about thousandaires and millionaires with Diddy, but we're talking about billionaires and high millionaires when we're talking about Epstein. So could they have crossed paths? Maybe, but I don't know. Brian and Jill W says, seems like maybe I just wonder it's Jill, LOL. Okay, it's Jill. I was gonna just say the Brian, and I was like, okay, well, it might be Jill. It's okay. Got it. Just Me MD says, remember when Kim Porter was trying to get the girls away from him? I'm not gonna make any speculations on that, but I would not be surprised if he's selling his children too. Right? He got enough of them. Okay. Small says, OMG, that would be so effing gross if he messed with his daughters, Jesus, or sold them. Like, he doesn't necessarily have to do it, but he can definitely sell them to do stuff. Upside Down says, Diddy will roll. I'm worried about the little white child he adopted who thought that was a good idea. Yeah, I saw that. I didn't know that was a thing at that time. Peggy says Jay-Z was allegedly involved with Diddy's too. He certainly did run around on beats, so I wouldn't be surprised. Now, I'm surprised. I'm going to tell you this. I'm surprised that Jay-Z is not the main man in any of these lawsuits. Like, I will not be surprised if he gets hit with a Rico lawsuit like this. I would think Jay-Z will be the top dog over Diddy. And that's just my opinion. I'm surprised that Diddy has not been hit with something. I mean, that Jay-Z has not been hit with something like this before Diddy. I'm really surprised at that. Spicy Vet Med says, Peggy, I have no doubts that Jay-Z is on the list to go down too. I agree with that. Just Me MD says, 50's baby mama is supposed to be one of Diddy's monthly payroll freak employees. This further fuels 50 hate for Diddy. Yeah. Kimmy Locker says to Just Me MD, I don't like that 50's using it as an excuse to go for sole custody at all, though. He's bringing the kid in there. They're putting the pictures up of the kid. Like, the kid doesn't want to be involved in this nonsense, right? G Seltzer said, oh, giving us a $5 super sticker. Thank you. Definitely appreciate it. If you look in the chat, we got a little fox saying bravo, bravo. Thank you very much. I definitely appreciate it. Upside Down says he has a rep with prejudice, just keeping it real. Witness it. House manager spilled the rest of the tea. I think we're talking about Jay-Z still there. Small says, oh, yeah, you're right, Bree. Either way, that would be a new low for Daddy Diddy. Don't call him Daddy Diddy. I don't like that. Crystal Yo says the rumors back then were they loved young girls under 18. It was true. And I'm not surprised about it. I'm not surprised about it. They have the little song, The Nasty Girl. I'm sure they were not talking about 30-year-old women in that song. Okay. And it was a catchy song. I had that song on my playlist. Now I have to delete it because it was probably very, very inappropriate. And I probably should not have been listening to that as a child. Jill says, he might be the bigger fish they want through Diddy. Maybe. I'm thinking so too. Now, those have links, in my opinion. Those have links, in my opinion. Let me see if we have hit the 100 like goal. Okay, we're gonna play the other version of our like goal because we have hit the like goal, not times 2, but for the second like goal that we had, which was 75 and then 100. Now we're here, so let's do our second like goal reach. 3, 2, 1. All right, yay! We hit our like goal again. What else do we have? Magic. Okay. We got the magic. What is this one? Okay. Oh, that's a bad one. No, that one's bad too. Okay. Yeah, so we got a little music. We got it. Okay, let me get back into the lawsuit. Bossy B, let's bring us back over to the lawsuit. The chat is chatting. I love the interaction. Let's go. Okay, let's get back into it. Let's see. We got the booby trap van going up at this point. There's some smexy pictures. Those ones are all still in there. All look the same. This is them soliciting S workers to basically entertain the guests at the party, right? Okay. Mr. Combs and Jay Combs solicits drug and engages in illicit sex acts with minor and S workers. So there were like 16-year-old girls at some parties. They gave him Lace De Leon liquor that he sued about to kids. That's so bad. And then we have more videos or photos. Combs with an underage female. My question is, how does he know that they're underage? Do they just like really look that young? So this one is, these pictures are no longer in the lawsuit, yeah, so the pictures on the left are no longer in the lawsuit with the underage girls. Then we have an underage female right in the camera. We got S worker, which I mean, bad, but if they're an adult, it is what it is, right? Justin Combs with an underage female, which how old is Justin Combs at this point? He has to be well within his 20s. He got to be like my age, right? Yeah, he's 30 years old, so past his 20s at this point. So he definitely shouldn't be with children. So there's that. Okay, and then Mr. Combs attempts to pass off Mr. Jones to Cuba Gooding Jr. Are we there yet? Okay. So here we are with him now bringing the allegations against Cuba Jr. I believe these ones are the same. Okay, let me just read this one because he's now added as a defendant. So let's check this one out. So we have Mr. Jones believes Mr. Combs was grooming him to pass him off to his friends. Weird. And this is like an adult man, okay? And you think that you could solicit him out, but I mean, I guess the adult women were doing it. But anyway, let's go on. This fear became a reality when Mr. Combs introduced Mr. Jones to Cuba Gooding Jr. while they were on Mr. Combs' yacht. According to Mr. Jones, during the introduction, Mr. Combs suggested that Cuba get to know Mr. Jones better. He then left them alone in a makeshift studio on the yacht. Interesting. Okay, as evidence in the video, of which screenshots are embedded below, Cuba Gooding Jr. began touching, groping, and fondling Mr. Jones' legs, upper inner thighs, and near his groin, the small of his back, near his buttocks, and his shoulders. According to Mr. Jones, he was extremely uncomfortable and proceeded to lean away from Mr. Gooding Jr. What is the what are you doing? Like, this is weird. Okay, it looks like it's pretty much the same though. So we got pictures again of him forcefully holding on to Jones looking like awkwardly, maybe like a nervous laugh going on. Sorry, y'all. Maybe like a nervous laugh going on. Then we get into the Love album. There looks like there's a little bit of changes here. This is the album that what's his name? Jones was actually hired to assist in making, and it looks like there's a little bit of changes here. So maybe we'll go through it part way just to get an idea of what's going on here. Throughout his time with Mr. Combs, Mr. Jones was under an implied work for hire agreement. According to Mr. Jones, he was not compensated for his time living with Mr. Combs or for the songs produced. According to Mr. Jones, he was recruited by Frankie Santella, who worked on the Love album. Mr. Jones informed Mr. Santella that he required the following work for the Love album: $20,000 per song, 4 royalty points, credit as a producer, and credited for each instrument Mr. Jones played, and Mr. Jones must retain his publishing rights. So that is new, added in to this lawsuit. According to Mr. Jones, they agreed to the terms detailed above after meeting with Frankie Santella. Mr. Jones met with defendant Combs, who further reiterate and guarantee that the above-mentioned terms were accepted. As a result, Mr. Jones began working on the album. Okay, and then it kind of goes into the same. According to Mr. Jones, he attempted to work with Mr. Combs to secure his publishing and royalty rights for the work he completed on the Love album. Mr. Combs only offered Mr. Jones $29,000 for 13 months, thousands of hours of work, and 9 songs that made it to the Love album. Mr. Jones was willing to take $50,000, his publishing and royalties. Mr. Combs' self-serving greed would not allow him to pay Mr. Jones an additional $21,000. So he basically underworked. He had 9 songs, $20,000 each. He was supposed to get $180,000 minimum, right? But Diddy basically was not giving him that money, so he was gonna settle for $50,000, his publishing rights, and his royalties, and walk away. Diddy didn't even want to do that in this case. They go on to show more pictures of DeForest Taylor threatening Mr. Jones. Why is he threatening him? Okay, let's see. After publicly requesting that Mr. Combs do the right thing and pay him fairly, Mr. Jones received an onslaught of threatening messages from Stevie J and Love Records. A&R DeForest Taylor. So this is him threatening Mr. Jones into basically like back off. You're not getting more than $30,000. Basically, that's messed up. A year of work for only $29,000 is insane. Okay. He goes on to say that Combs used his power and influence to intimidate Mr. Jones. This is the same as before. So we're going to go ahead and skip through that. This is them bringing up the whole J-Lo incident and saying that I've basically gotten rid of people. Do you think I can't get rid of you? And then talk about how J-Lo basically held the weapon to get him into the club, in which he later ended up shooting somebody there. This is supposedly Mr. Combs, Diddy's hitman, that is known for making people disappear on behalf of Diddy. Let's go on to the defendants, Lucian Charles Grange, in his capacity as CEO of Universal Music Group, Motown Records, and Universal Music Group through their general business partnership and their financial support of Sean Combs and Love Records, Inc., aided and abetted Mr. Combs' action as detailed below. And so this part is a little bit different, or maybe a lot of bit different, because now we got an attachment in here than the original complaint. As you can see, it has a little bit more information in it. And it got some highlights in it, and it also has a bigger first paragraph. So I'm going to go ahead and dive into this part of the lawsuit. Don't remember exactly what was in the other one, but we're going to do this updated one anyway. So on March 21st, 2024, former Motown Records chairman and CEO Ethiopia Heather Miriam provided Mr. Jones with her declaration as attached as attachment B. I don't have that. Kimmy, do you have that? According to, I'm just going to call her Ethiopia because I can't say her last name. According to Ethiopia declaration, as Motown Records chairwoman and CEO, she reported directly to defendant Lucian Charles Grange. According to Ethiopia declaration, Motown Records entered into an agreement with Love Records, Inc. in or around May 2022. According to her declaration, UMG was aware of and authorized Motown Records to enter into a licensing agreement with Love Records. According to her declaration, under the license agreement, Motown Records agreed to pay or reimburse Love Records for certain of the invoice records costs incurred by Love Records in making the Love album. Since leaving Motown Records in November 2022, Ethiopia has not been involved with Love Records. Let's see. It says S detail. I guess that's like a typo. As detailed through his pleading, plaintiff Jones began working on the Love album in September 2022 until he was released in September 2023. According to Jones, the recording of Love album began in Chalice Record Studios while Mr. Combs hosted a nightly party where S-workers and alcohol laced with drugs were provided. How are y'all getting anything done? I'm like, I get the point of being lit, but you got to be drugged and alcohol lit. That's wild. Mr. Jones informed Mr. Combs that Chalice Record sessions cost him over $500,000. $500,000 to record, and you just there getting lit, throwing parties. You better be focused. In addition to the Chalice Record Studios recording session, the Love album was recorded in Mr. Combs' home in Los Angeles, California, Miami, Florida. Those are the houses that were raided. Mr. Jones has a copy of every song recorded for the Love album, including songs recorded on the yacht Mr. Combs and Love Records, Inc., chartered from December 2022 to January 2023. According to Mr. Jones, every song has at least 5 versions, and many other songs never made it to the Love album. Each of these files were timestamped and provides a clear timeline of the creation of the Love album. According to Mr. Jones, during the creation of the Love album, Mr. Combs was very serious about setting the mood and creating a love-making atmosphere. To accomplish this, Mr. Combs did the following. He installed a lighting system so he could adjust the lighting in the room to red, blue, pink, and any color he wanted depending on the mood he was going for. Mr. Combs required everyone working on the Love album to take shots of Ciroc and De Leon alcohol, not supplying them with your own alcohol, bro. Like, Step up your game. Ciroc's not that bad, but now it is because like associated with Diddy. On several occasions, Mr. Combs would send voice notes to the Love album phone group chat and pose questions to the group, soliciting their opinions on Mr. Jones, questioning his loyalty and whether they think he is a good fit for the team. Mr. Combs knew that Mr. Jones was on the group chat in his phone and received those voice notes. This is Diddy. Do y'all think Jones is good for the team? Jones is on there like, what? Yes, I am good for the team. Like, what the hell? He's unhinged. He's unhinged. Mr. Combs knew that Jones was in the group chat in his house and received those voice notes. After witnessing several people sent home for refusing to engage in the acts Mr. Combs required to show loyalty, Mr. Jones feared what could happen to him if he told Combs no. This is another example of Mr. Combs' grooming of Mr. Jones. You are a grown man. Walk away. I know it was $180,000 on the table, but you didn't even sign a contract. They told you they were going to pay you that much. I did not see him say, I signed a contract for this amount of money. No, he didn't. He was just like, okay, Diddy say he's going to pay me $20,000 per song. And then he doesn't get $20,000 per song. That is dumb. I'm sorry. That was really dumb of you to do. And you're saying, oh, he's going to send me home if I don't do the little freaky things he want me to do. Go home then. You're a grown man. Jeez Louise, you can beat Diddy up, right? Kimmy, I was saying, do you have the Declaration of Ethiopia, or is it even like worth reading, right? Let me see here. Here we are. As the general business partners of Sean Combs and Love Records, the financial backer for the creation of the Love album, defendant Lucian Charles Grange, in his capacity as CEO of Universal Music Group, Motown Records, or UMG, Motown Records and Universal Music Group had a duty to ensure the financial support they provided to Sean Combs and Love Records was not being used for workers, drugs, and laced alcohol. My boy was getting lit instead of producing an album. It is no secret, and I'm surprised that Diddy still needs like outside producers. That's interesting to me. It is no secret Mr. Combs has specific bottles of alcohol designated for females and other bottles designated for his staff, artists, and himself. This fact was detailed by former artists and bodyguards of Mr. Combs. Imagine someone going, oh, don't drink out of that one. You're a female, drink out of this one. Like, that's so messed up. In another typo, in the YouTube channel, The Art of Dialogue, former bodyguard Gene Dill exposed Mr. Combs' pill mixing method to spike cranberry juice and orange juice. According to Mr. Dill, Mr. Combs would place ecstasy and other date rape drugs in the juices. On YouTube, The Art of Dialogue, former artist Mark Curry exposed Mr. Combs spiking bottles of Moet champagne in the VIP section of nightclubs. Mr. Combs would have a set of Moet champagne bottles for his artists and set for women. They linked the videos to where they say that. My thing is, why do you need to drug people to have fun? Like, he's a really nasty dude. I don't like it. Why do you need to freaking drug people for them to have fun? You're already supplying them with large amounts of alcohol. Is it because you're cheap and you don't want to have to pay for all the alcohol, so you just give them drugs to speed up the process? Like, what the hell? Imagine going somewhere thinking that you're just having a shot. Turns out that you just did ecstasy and a shot of tequila with a little dabble of speed. I don't even know what the heck speed is. But just imagine. You think you're going to go, I took one shot with Diddy before? No, you are on a date rape drug now at this point. Like, come on. I don't know if I can say that stuff on YouTube, but here we are. I'm probably going to get flagged. That's okay. It's important to talk about. Why do you need to drug people to have fun, dude? Why? He's a weirdo. I don't like him. Okay. Let me go ahead and jump back into it, and then I'll try to catch some chats in a little bit. Okay, let's see where we're at here. Okay, defendant Christina Karam is the Ghislaine Maxwell took Sean Combs Jeffrey Epstein or to Sean Combs Jeffrey Epstein. We talked about this, right? He's the black Jeffrey Epstein, right? Okay, he basically gives young people drugs, and what's her name helps him out with it. Let's see. Okay, this one has an additional picture not listed in the other one. We have this picture down here. So let's see. According to Mr. Jones, defendant Karam wanted Mr. Combs' drug of choice immediately ready when he asked for it. So she had his drugs on him. According to Mr. Jones, defendant Karam ordered S workers for Mr. Combs. On one occasion, she sent Mr. Jones a text message requesting that he call a particular S worker. We have the message. Now, who has that much adult fun time? Why do you need to have that? Why do you need S workers if you supposedly have all these girlfriends? I'm so confused. According to Mr. Jones, defendant Karam ordered and distributed ecstasy, cocaine, GHB, ketamine, marijuana, and mushrooms to Mr. Combs and his celebrity guests who were present on his rented yacht in his homes in LA and Miami. According to Mr. Jones, on multiple occasions, defendant Karam forced him to carry Mr. Combs' drug pouch against his will. The pouches were always black, and several of Mr. Combs' staff carried black Prada pouches, so they just had a pouch of drugs on them. According to Mr. Jones, defendant Karam also sent Mr. Jones to solicit S workers for Mr. Combs. When the S workers arrived at Mr. Combs' residence, defendant Karam would negotiate their price and would take them aside and pay them. How weird. He can't even pay his own ex workers. Okay, so this is a picture that's not included in the original one. Okay, we got Brendan Paul and Sean Combs. Then we got Frankie Santella works alongside Brendan, and Brendan acquires and distributes Mr. Combs' drugs and guns. Frankie carries the money and pays for the guns. So it sounds like they work as a team. Stevie J recruits the S workers and attends and participates in freak offs. Justin Combs solicits also ex workers, underage girls, and ex workers would engage in freak offs. And then we got Brendan Paul works as Mr. Combs' mule. He acquires and distributes Mr. Combs' drugs and guns. Why are you going to get young girls? They got Frankie Chantella with Diddy right there. We got Moy Bond hires S worker, attends and participates in freak offs. Moy Bond Thanksgiving when Mr. Combs offered Mr. Jones cocaine. Right. Okay. So I think those are all the same. Mr. Combs allowed for Mr. Combs allowed for wreak Mr. Combs is allowed to wreak havoc. He thinks he's untouchable. While living and traveling with Mr. Combs, Mr. Jones discovered that Mr. Combs had hidden cameras in every room of his home. Creepy. Mr. Jones believes that Mr. Combs has recording of several celebrities, artists, music label executives, and athletes engaging in illegal activity at Mr. Combs' functions. I never want to be invited to a celebrity function, ever. Ever. Upon information and belief, these individuals were recorded without their knowledge and consent, as is the case with the homosexual X tapes that Mr. Combs provided to Mr. Jones, claiming to be Stevie J. Mr. Combs possesses compromising footage of every person who has attended his freak off parties and his house parties. Upon information and belief, due to this treasure trove of evidence he has in his possession, Mr. Combs believes that he is above the law and is untouchable. Based on information and belief, Mr. Combs employs Jose Cruz as his IT director. Is that who they arrested? IT director. This writer has spoken to several former employees of Mr. Combs who confirmed that Jose Cruz is the gatekeeper to all of Mr. Combs' recordings, which is strange. Jose Tech Guy Cali is his name. Defendant Mr. Combs hired a private investigator, Russell Green, to seek out, harass, and bribe individuals to provide dirt on Mr. Jones. I think that is new. Yeah, that is new information. On or about March 2nd of 2022, Mr. Jones was informed by a close friend from his church that Mr. Combs' engineer, Matt Testa, provided an individual's phone number to Los Angeles-based private investigator Russell Green. There is a link to that. Okay, there is a message that says, "It's Russell Green. Blank gave me your number. Are you available to speak with me?" They responded back, "Hey, I can chat in a couple of hours if that's cool." Russell says, "Sounds good. I'm in an event from 3 to 5, so I'll be available after 5. I'm on the West Coast. Where are you?" "I'm in Los Angeles. I can talk at 1:30 as well." He says, "Okay. You available now at 1:41? Did you just call me?" And they say yes. Upon information and belief, Mr. Green attempted to bribe this anonymous individual with an uncertain amount of money in exchange for her producing text messages or any evidence that this individual could produce to paint Mr. Jones in a bad light. Doesn't matter. He's the one suing you. I mean, I guess if you do a counterclaim, right? During a call with Mr. Jones, the individual expressed fear for their safety and the safety of their family. This is a clear example of some tactics implemented by Mr. Combs and the members of Combs Rico and TVPA Enterprise. You going after the church, girl, for information on this man? Come on now. Leave that girl alone. Okay. Besides contacting the individual previously mentioned, Mr. Green contacted Mr. Jones' 8-year-old daughter. How is he calling a little girl? 8-year-old daughter. He solicited information from this child about her father until she cried in fear and handed the phone to her mother. Why did the mom let her daughter talk to a strange man on the phone? What? At that time, her mother hung up the phone. Mr. Green proceeded to text her and she informed him that she did not want to be bothered and he continued to send her unwanted harassing text messages. Okay. And then they go through the Rico Enterprise. I don't know if there's like anything new in here. We never covered this on this channel anyway, so we're not covering that today. I'm going to get into the chat and see what the chat has to say about all of this. But insane. What the heck is going on here? What's going on here? I can't believe this. Calling his 8-year-old daughter. Why did the mom let this strange man talk to her 8-year-old daughter on the phone? What's wrong with the mom? Okay, Bossy, let's check out the chat and see what's going on. Sorry, and see what's going on there. Let's see where we're at. We are at 117 likes. Shout out to the Bree Hive. 117 likes. Definitely appreciate it, Bree Hive. You guys are killing the game. I was thinking about making our second like goal 125, but then I was like, no, 100. That should be fine. But we are almost at 125. Can we reach 125 likes? Can we do it? Okay, let's see about the chats. We got Mackenzie Carter Cameron gifting 5 Boss Attorney Bree memberships. Thank you very much. I definitely appreciate it. I know Deacon Fatal hates the horns, but maybe she's asleep already. But no, thank you very much for the gifted memberships. Definitely appreciate it. Welcome to all the members that Mackenzie has blessed us with tonight. Definitely welcome all of you and hope to see you all on the members live stream. Don't know when it will be this month, but I hope to see all of the new members there. Thank you again, Mackenzie, for gifting the 5 Boss Attorney Bree memberships. Small says, "Oh snap! Other folks coming for the MVB spot." Oh yeah. Are we now nominating Mackenzie as well? Shout out to Z Seltzer and Mackenzie Carter for the super chat. So we got 3 people. We got Z Seltzer, Mackenzie Carter, and Carter Cameron, and we have Deacon Fatal in the running for the MVP. Thank you for the reminder. Thank you for the reminder. Smalls. I could not remember. If we can pin the chat. Let me actually type it. We got Deacon Fatal, and then we got Mackenzie, and we got Z Seltzer so far. Z Seltzer. Love that last name. That's a cool last name. Just Me MD says, wait, question. Even with the revised lawsuit, you can't unsee the other pics and details. So what they are no longer considered as evidence. So no, the complaint in itself is not evidence. It's not evidence at all. This is just their petition to the court. This is telling the court what they believe in and what they want the court to do. You can provide evidence or you don't have to provide evidence. You just have to state enough to make a claim. And so providing the evidence, of course, helps you make a claim. Now, will these pictures be included as exhibits? As you've seen in some of them, they provided us with certain pictures and certain messages before, but now they're saying we have the messages available for the court when the time is necessary. So no, they don't need to present all the same facts. They don't need to consider or present all the same photos and everything. They will be able to still admit them into trial. This is not admitting the evidence into trial. Now, can it be used against Jones if they go to trial? Basically like, oh, you committed perjury. Well, in your complaint, you said this, but that's not true. Now you're saying this. That can be used against him, but it is not considered evidence in the court quite yet. Only evidence is evidence you present in trial, and then you admit it into evidence for the court to review, right? So yes and no. They can still use it in trial, but it's not considered evidence to the court now. And the judge may have seen it, but by the time this thing gets to trial, it's going to be so far down the line that the court's not going to remember what was in the complaint, right? Crystal Yost says everyone was doing everything they could in those days to be in that society. You come up from that, but this just sounds like caked up freak S word. Yeah, it's a mess. It's a mess. And the thing is, it's easy to judge when you're in a privileged position. I would consider myself in a privileged position. Now, would I like to be a singer and a rap star? Sure. No, I wouldn't. I would not like that at all. But let's say I did. I didn't have to go through these things. And I think it's becoming easier for people because a lot of people can just get on TikTok or YouTube and kind of make their own path rather than having to be in with the it crowd now, right? So no, I definitely agree with you. This is like an industry standard. It just needs to go away as an industry standard, in my opinion. We got Jill W saying, makes me glad to be a non-famous and poor. That's what I'm saying. Like, we are in a privileged position when it comes to not wanting to be famous, right? Because we don't have to kind of put ourselves out there and be manipulated. Now, could it happen to us in different realms in our lives, like jobs and things like that, and wanting to climb higher ranks? Sure. But I think people are a little more willing to walk away from jobs than people are willing to walk away from being fame and in the it crowd and in the social crowds. So sad, but some people don't have that same willpower. I think more quote unquote normal people that we just kind of do normal, basic individual things, go to work, come home, hang out on YouTube. We are a little bit more willing to point out where we have a little bit more morals, to say it. I mean, not to be mean, but there's a lot of famous people without any morals or with very low morals that they're like, yeah, we can kidnap a kid. It doesn't sound that bad. Versus like regular people are like, yeah, this little kid is following me. I shall not kidnap it. Let me take it to a security guard, right? But the famous people might say, we can potentially put this one into our exhibits. I don't know. I don't know what famous people think, but I don't know. I feel like they don't have as much morals as normal people, right? So I hope that makes sense. Small says the Diddy kids, Quincy 32, Justin 30, Christian 26 yesterday. Thanks for the yesterday. Chance, Delilah, and Jesse. All of them are 17? Chance is another boy, right? And then Love Sean is one. I can't believe he had another baby. I can't believe he had another baby. That's wild to me. Wild to me. Your kids are like grown. Why would you go have a baby? People like paying child support. It's like, y'all know these women are trapping you for child support. And you go, look at me. I'm just going to swing my little seeds everywhere and have a little baby. Your kids are grown. Why would you have another baby? Small says, but to each their own, right? Small says, I didn't even know Diddy had a 1-year-old. What the hell? I heard that he had a baby. I didn't know the baby was 1. I thought it was like 5. Crystal Yo says, listen to the beginning of the last night with Keisha Cole. Yeah, no. And I thank you for bringing that up because I never even thought about that till this moment when you said that. And he's like, oh, you better stop playing. Well, yeah, I probably should not be on the internet talking about him. He might try to blow up my car next. Too bad I'm a regular person with no car, Diddy. No, I'm just kidding. Catch me on a bus. I'm just kidding. Don't send them after the bus, okay? Jill W says, I believe J-Lo knows a lot. I think so too. I can't believe he got like so many young, pretty women. He's like an average. I don't even know if I would consider him average. Crystal Yo says the 90s and early 2000s was crazy, girl. It was crazy. And people, I mean, this was like new coming into fame, right? Black people had only been into the fame for a couple of years, right? Making the money, making the big bucks. I remember the 90s, every rapper had a Lexus. Every rapper had a Lexus in their video. Until this day, Lexus is still a luxury car for Black people. But no, it was a new time. It was these rappers getting money. I don't know if they really had money like that or if they were still being duped by the record labels back then. But no, it was a crazy time. And people were just doing things that they could never get away with before, right? Mackenzie says, bring back common sense. Not in this lawsuit. Not in this lawsuit. Like, it's fine that Rodney Jones is coming forward now and saying that there were these underage girls there and there was this and there was that. I'm surprised Cassie didn't say none of that in her lawsuit, but I mean, don't put more liability on yourself, right? But as him gloating, or not gloating, but, you know, being this proud Christian man, not to have said something in the moment or not to have been like, you know what? I'm not working with this dude. Why are there little girls? Like, it's fine to point it out now. And even if it's not so much of, okay, well, I'm going to point it out to get them in trouble. It's like, you're there and you know that they record everything. What if they have videos of you talking to the young girls or talking to underage girls and you don't know that they're underage? So if not to even defend the little girls, why not get yourself out of the possibility of being in trouble by removing yourself from the situation? That would be my question. Mary Malarkey says, do we know who is representing P. Diddy in court? I don't think so, not yet. He hasn't appeared in the case, to my knowledge. Kimmy Locker says, nobody yet. Yep. Okay, I don't think he's appeared in the case. Spicy Vet Med Geek says, so much stuff went down with Biggie, Mace. Others tried to bring BB Bad Boy Records. Everything went south and got weird and effed up. I mean, all we're missing is someone off Cobain, and I'm questioning life. Yeah. And people might start getting, I'm surprised Rodney hasn't come up missing yet. But the thing is, it's so much under the spotlight. He's already caught his daughter, allegedly, right? It's so much in the spotlight right now. He can't really, his hands are tied. His house is being raided. We can't now start offing witnesses, right? Upside Down says the Epstein of the music industry. Yeah. Okay, which I really didn't believe that Diddy was that popular. Like, where have I been? Have I been living under a rock? Like, I feel like Diddy hasn't had a hit song since maybe like 2006. Okay. I know he's a producer, but I don't know any songs that Diddy has produced since like 2006. And apparently he's still making albums where he's the main character. I didn't even know that was still happening. Like, the producers, when I think of producers making music these days, I'm thinking like DJ Khaled and Rick Ross and DJ Mustard, right? I'm not thinking P. Diddy at all. Like, I didn't even know he was still making music. I did not know. I thought he was just selling alcohol, De Leon and Ciroc. I did not know Diddy was still in the music industry. I thought he just had a label. KL Burke says pure evil. I agree with that. I'm calling you Sue now. You know it's drugs because it's bad, Brie. Yeah, it's drugs. Mhm. Chiraz, I don't know if I'm saying that right. It says, I suspect there is something about tricking someone into doing something they didn't consent to do that turns them on. Finding willing people is easy. Yeah, and that's the problem. That's the problem. Like, why? We know you want someone that you can take advantage of. Otherwise, you wouldn't be giving them drugs and alcohol without them knowing that the drugs are in the alcohol. They're already willingly participating in alcohol. Imagine going there. You're the DD. There's drugs in the cranberry juice. You can't even drink cranberry juice. You can't even drink cranberry juice to be the DD for your friends. You cannot even look out for your friends. You got to bring your own water. At that point, bring your own soda because you're going to get drugged just looking at the plants. they just put drugs and alcohol and whatever to kind of manipulate you into anything at this point. So yeah, I agree with you there. Just make the easiest target, right? Just Me MD says Diddy is sadistic, allegedly. Agreed with the allegedly and sadistic. Spicy Vet Med Geek says, cause it's never enough and it's a flex for people like him. That's weird. Like, you will impress me when you can take down the Loch Ness monster. Not if you can kidnap a bunny. And I might be a little impressed if you can catch a jackrabbit. But you picking up the baby bunny that was just, born, the deers whose legs doesn't work yet, the baby deer whose legs don't work yet, that's not impressive. That's weird. You're taking advantage of a baby deer? Like, come on. And y'all, this is a serious topic. I'm making light of it because it's like we don't want it to be too serious, but it's ridiculous to me. And I can only be thankful that I was not put in this situation. Upside Down says Suge Knight started this mess, to be honest. You think so? You think so? And now it's just catching up to Diddy 20, 30 years later, right? Mackenzie Carter Cameron says, I forgot all about Suge Knight too. Is or was he Bad Boy Records? No, he was on the other side. He was with Tupac's side of things, the Bloods. Let's see. Spicy Vet Met Geek says Suge was on the West Coast, I believe. Yes, that is correct. Spicy says, LOL, I mean, I listened to Marilyn Manson too. LOL, I need it and still need facts on all people I listen to. And that's what I was saying. I was talking about going to the Chris Brown concert. I was like, things are going to come out about him in the next couple of years. I mean, he's already kind of listed in this lawsuit, right? And he already had his own SA lawsuits. It was an adult woman, but still an SA lawsuit nonetheless. But I'm just like, should we just not support celebrities at this point? Because I feel like most, if not all, are into some grimy stuff, for lack of a better legal word. Grimy. Crystal Yo says they always said he had Tupac off. That's what they say. That's what they say. And they also say then Biggie, because Biggie, he couldn't control Biggie no more. That's what they say. Jill says not a team, a boss, and a fall guy, very different. Yeah. Fall guys, multiple fall guys and girls he had. Small says, you really don't though. You really don't though. I wish people knew how overrated these celebs anythings are. Overrated, unhealthy, and dangerous. I can't even party with you without getting drugged. Like, no, I don't want to go there. I already have to deal with nasty drinks at the regular club. Now you're telling me I can't drink cranberry juice at the celebrity party? Absolutely not. I'm here about making punches that are so strong it's gonna knock you on your butt. But you lacing it with drugs, like you cheated. Like, of course your liquor is gonna be strong because you added some extra stuff that's not supposed to be there. Agree with that, Smalls. Sue says, to me, OMG, cameras in every home, literally Epstein Jr., what I tell you about the often weird desires of the rich. And I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he followed Epstein. Maybe he did get invited to one party and he was like, I'm going to do that to up my game. These people are weird. I don't have a better word for them other than weird. Tiny D says, I watched the 25th anniversary of Def Comedy Jam from 2018 over the weekend, and Diddy was there with Cassie. We all cringed when we saw it. Yeah. It was cringy when he started dating her. Like, she was a child and he was a grown man. Jill says, blackmail cameras in all room. Yeah. And who said it earlier? I'm pretty sure that a lot of the evidence was on that plane. That's stuck in my head now. Jill, all right, got that one. Chantel says, I hope there weren't cameras in the kids' rooms. Why would they skip that? I just watched the documentary on Jared, the sandwich guy from Subway. Oh my gosh. I did not even know that happened, of him getting caught with being like into children, and his like buddy setting up cameras in his stepdaughter's room. Oh, it's so bad. So bad. Lindsay says insane in the membrane, insane in the brain. Yeah. Yeah, it definitely. KL Burke says the depravity of the rich and famous is sickening. I agree with that. I'm like, what's wrong? Like, does being famous alter your brain chemistry, or are they just already born like that? Jill says Diddy is screwed and all adults with kids involved should be too. I agree. And not even just adults with kids, adults that were there. Like, why are you there hanging out with children? I have nothing. Barely can talk to people that are 20. Okay? But you're there letting grown men or participating in watching grown men get with young girls. Weird. Weirdos. Even if you're not doing it, you're guilty by association, in my opinion. Small says swallowed. Swallowed what? Crystal Yo says, if you knew, you knew. If you knew, you knew back in the 90s, he's known as a freak out in the East Coast. There were rumors about all this early on, and people just still supported it, which sucks. Crystal says, this man is absolutely disgusting. I can agree with you there. It's so wrong on so many levels. Mary Malarkey says, so much to digest. Really curious what the prosecutors are going to focus on. And I didn't go through the cause of actions all the way, so maybe I can go through them and then do like a summary on them. Crystal DeSaro says, I'm scared to ask what a freak off party is. It sounds like YouTube wouldn't even allow that to be explained. It's like a ORGY situation where multiple people engage in adult fun together for hours on drugs, doing insane fantasy type things, which is ridiculous. Crystal DeSaro says, plus you can make music videos from a cell now. Super easy to get the views on YouTube. So bad. So bad. Spicy Vet Med Geek says, Brie, you're so cute thinking that mint cake. Oh. I don't even remember what it said. I'm sorry. Mackenzie Carter Cameron says, I've never been driven by that stuff either. Yeah, I can't get behind it. Crystal Yo says, I would never want to be famous like them. Anyone can point the finger and say anything. Exactly. And then you're like in the space, and even to be associated with it. It's like, I like being on my little corner of YouTube, talking my little mess. Not giving drugs or alcohol to anyone, okay? That is where I prefer to be. Just Me MD says, TD Jakes is one of the top pastors in the US and international. With all of this coming out, he is being thrown out a lot more. There are some pics and videos of him at a few Diddy's birthday parties. Pastors, I don't put anything past them either. Pastors. Don't put things past pastors. Mackenzie Carter Cameron says, I forget where I heard it, but Diddy dated his son's ex-girlfriend. I remember hearing that too. And that was like a couple years ago. He's weird. He's just a weirdo. Ew, that's gross. Joe W says, I feel like these people are starstruck and want fame so bad their morals go out the window. I can't get hyped over famous people. Like, just not my vibe. It's like, yeah, I know some famous people. I don't really, the only reason why I keep up with celebrities now is because of these lawsuits that we cover. Before that, I'm like, no, did not have posters of any celebrities on my freaking wall. The last concert and only concert I've ever been to was Little Bow Wow, and I was like 10 years old. Like, I don't even like celebrities. Just Me MD says, many are saying just because they were at Diddy's parties, you knew when to leave. Not all of them were. Yeah. So they are saying that there was like a before the party and then the after party. And there were some people that just went to like the before party part. So maybe TD Jakes is not that liable, but I still don't put nothing past pastors. I don't put nothing past anybody, honestly, till you show me who you are. Crystal Yo says he hasn't had a song. I don't think Diddy has had a song. Like, you cannot tell me he has a popular song. Small says, Diddy a producer? LOL, that's fine. He is he not a producer? I mean, he owns the record label. Sorry. Smalls is into music. You help me out, girl. Help me out. Rachel Mills says he got a VMA Vanguard Award last year. Did he? I don't know. I don't. I don't know. Brandon Hosman says, as a 41-year-old, a lot of stuff even happened in the 80s too. I think this think P. Diddy would walk away with if always like nothing happened. So a bunch of stuff happened and Diddy would just walk away like nothing happened, i.e. shooting somebody up in the club, i.e. shooting somebody up in the bathroom, i.e. hanging out with young girls your daughter's age. Weird. That's so weird. I can't. Sorry to do the puke thing for y'all, but I just can't. I don't have any other words. Joe W says the only person I still think of Diddy before this is when I'm watching Park and Rec and Tom keeps saying his name. I don't watch that show. I know my brother watched that show. Upside Down says Diddy hasn't had a hit anything. He's a pimp. At this point, yeah. Chantel says, according to his former artists, he kept most of their money. I've heard that about several people in the industry, record label owners. They do not pay people, i.e. Diddy spending $500,000 and him as this rap Mongol couldn't get no money to pay Rodney. Okay, because he's spiking alcohol allegedly. Peggy says, does anyone know how TD Jakes is involved with this? I read that he is now going to be going down as a result of the lawsuit. Thanks. So Diddy and him are friends, and they're saying that Diddy kind of gloated that he was going to use his connection with TD Jakes as being friends or whatever to kind of minimize the damage that was done by Cassie, Diddy's ex-girlfriend's lawsuit. I haven't looked too much into that, so I don't know any more information on it, but that's my basic knowledge of it. Just Me MD says to Peggy, Jakes and Diddy are friends, and he attended many of Diddy's parties. Yeah, so he's basically Diddy's trying to align himself with TD Jakes doesn't necessarily mean that TD Jakes did something wrong, if that makes sense. Crystal said that's why he did that show with the young rappers in New York City. I wonder if something comes out with them. It's all about the power. And so one of the Making the Band stars, what group did he form? Danity Kane. I believe he formed Danity Kane. And one of their singers came out and said, y'all filing this lawsuit is too late. I didn't read that article, but I'm assuming they had some stuff to say too. Crystal Yo says a lot of stuff they did was weird on both coasts. Yeah, I think celebrities are just weird. Upside Down says Diddy wanted to be Suge and didn't make it as big. I mean, he lasted a long time. That should be an accomplishment in itself. JC said, I wonder if Will and Jada were involved with Diddy. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm sure they were, in my opinion. Crystal DeSaro says they are human, not immune to being a horrible one. Yeah. Rachel Mills says Chris Brown got off light for beating Rihanna like he did. If he was an average Joe, he'd be in so much more trouble. I agree and disagree. I feel like these type of things come up so many times and then everyone forgets about it. Just like the Jonathan Major things, I think everybody's going to forget about it. Rachel says, so yeah, that's okay to not support him. Yeah, I still like Chris Brown though. His music. He still makes good music. Sue says to Boss Attorney Bree, should we not support celebrities? Yes. I know, but then I guess we can just all hang out on YouTube all day. That's an option, right? Jill says, I second not supporting celebs. Agree. They have enough money, right? Crystal says it was known not to go to his parties because, yeah, all of this. Or if you wanted to participate in the craziness, you do go to I think most, if not all, music celebrities at least engage in stuff like this. I think a lot of other type of celebrities engage in stuff like this, even if they're not the ones throwing the parties. Peggy says, bring your own flask if you want alcohol and fill it with water from the faucet. The faucet is probably laced at this point. I think the faucet is laced in Diddy's house. I know. I would not be surprised. They probably got like a little shifter where you put it to the left, the drugs come out, and put it to the right, it's regular water. Oh my gosh. Mom says being famous doesn't change you, just brings out the worst in you. Same with wealth. You think so? I'm like, are you already like that? I just couldn't imagine doing these things. Small says, OMG, nobody seen the TD Jake swallowed me. I don't think so. Just Me MD says Lori Harvey dated one of his sons, then dated Diddy for a bit. And again, I feel like Steve Harvey low-key pimps her out too. Just my opinion. That was the one though. Someone said that he dated his son's girlfriend. It was Lori Harvey. I do remember that. Peggy said, people tried to get R. Kelly outed years ago too, and no one would believe it. Now it's different, so hopefully D will be stopped. And exactly, so people are starting to actually get caught, prosecuted, and taken off of the fame charts. So maybe now something will actually happen, right? I didn't know all of this stuff about him until recently, but when it came out, I was like, not surprised. I'm not surprised, right? Mackenzie says, I didn't even know Brad and Jennifer divorced for a year. I follow things, but it's random when I can. Yeah. It's like it pops up. Just Me MD says they were first romantically linked in the summer of 2019, but both parties kept their personal lives private. She dated Diddy's son, Justin Combs. Makes sense. Lindsay says Audrey O'Day is the one that came out saying that it was too late, right? From Danity Kane. Yeah. Okay, that is right. Just Me MD says one of the S workers spoke of Jake's being in the freak off with him who was brought by Diddy. Not surprising. None of this stuff surprises me at this point. Kimmy Locker says, oh, Ethiopia's declaration is actually a lot more interesting than I realized. Okay, so we might have time to peek. We are almost at 3 hours, but we might have time to peek there. Rachel Mills says, not all celebs are bad. Some do good deeds. Yeah, but it's hard. How do we know which one to support? Mackenzie says fame would be a nightmare. I agree. I just like my little corner of YouTube. I like our corner of YouTube. Do not want to be famous. I do want to be on a documentary, though. I want someone to make me a legal analyst. That's about as much fame as I can get. It's telling people why their lawsuit sucks. Online. I watched the Kim Kardashian and Kanye West divorce documentary, and like they had this one attorney on there that I don't even think was a divorce attorney, and he was like, well, when this happens, I forget exactly what he said, but he's like, when this happens, then you can't do this. I'm like, that's not how that works. How about you actually get a freaking divorce attorney to talk about this? But either way it goes, it was ridiculous. Okay, let me see how long the declaration is. Can we put it in the back for me? It's 10 pages. We might be able to get through this. So let's go ahead and bring this one over here. And then let's go ahead and make that one big. Let's stop sharing our screen and then let's reshare our screen to this new one. Okay, so we got a new document. Bossy B, bring us in. Okay, so we have Ethiopia's declaration. This is their exhibit for the amended complaint. Go away, little thingy. Let's get bigger. Declaration. Okay, this is declaration of Ethiopia, last name I can pronounce, in support of the motion to dismiss defendants Universal Music Group, Motown Records, and so her declaration is actually in support of dismissing the defendants from the lawsuit. It's not necessarily in support of the plaintiff, which I think I remember seeing that. She says she has personal knowledge. She began her employment in Universal Music Company in January of 2023, becoming employed as the music publishing side of the business at Universal Music Publishing. In or around February 2014, I was promoted to president of urban music, co-head of creative at UMPG. In or around February 2014, I moved over to the recorded music side of the business and became the president of Motown Records and executive vice president of Capitol Music Group. Motown Records is not an independent company, but a record label that is a division of UMG Recording. In or about March 2021, I became the chairperson of and chief executive officer of Motown Records. I left Motown Records and UMG Recording at the end of November 2022. Why? The false allegations regarding my presence at Combs' home were there. Regarding my presence at Combs' homes where there were allegedly drugs, underage girls, and ex workers. So she's talking about her. She's removing herself from being liable, basically. She does not want them to think that she was involved in this nonsense. Contrary to the allegations in the first amended complaint regarding my alleged presence at Mr. Combs' home in Miami and New York at alleged parties at which underage girls and S workers were present and being drugged, I have never visited either of those homes, and I have never attended any party at any of Mr. Combs' homes other than a single black tie event in Los Angeles on June 26, 2022, celebrating his Lifetime Achievement Award from BET. The only property of Mr. Combs I ever visited was in Los Angeles, and as discussed below, all of my visits preceded plaintiff's alleged commencement of his work for Mr. Combs and Love Records, Inc. in September 2022. I understand that plaintiff has now abandoned his claims that either I or Mr. Grange ever visited Mr. Combs' home. So in the first complaint, he said that they were involved in the homes, and maybe that's why they removed Ethiopia, because she was never there. But with Grange, he was still, what did they say that Grange did in the lawsuit? I done forgot what he was accused of doing. I forgot. Either way it goes, let's go. I have been in the music industry for nearly 20 years. In my experience, it is not uncommon for some of the most successful people in the music industry to hold business meetings at their homes. It is also very common for successful artists to have recording studios at their homes where they work on records and conduct related business. Mr. Combs' Los Angeles property included a home studio in a separate building on the property, and this is where, to my knowledge, Mr. Combs conducted most of his work and his business meetings while in Los Angeles. I visited Mr. Combs' property a total of 4 times, and each time was for business purposes. 3 of the times I visited Mr. Combs' property in Los Angeles were all business meetings in connection with the license agreement between Motown Records and Love Records, Inc., and all took place either in the home studio or on an outdoor patio. I also visited his property for the party in Mr. Combs' backyard, celebrating his Lifetime Achievement Award from BET. And my first visit was spring of 2022, preceding the license agreement. The purpose of the meeting was to listen in Mr. Combs' home studio to the recording he had already made for his album that Love Records Inc. intended to release. There was no party involved. My second visit to Mr. Combs' home was within a few weeks after the license agreement was signed, May 4, 2022. This meeting was an introduction meeting between Motown staff and Love Records Inc. Combs Enterprise team over lunch on the outdoor patio. It was purely business. I was there with my team, and we met with Mr. Combs and his team. Again, by his own admission, plaintiff could not have been there, and there were no underage girls or S workers. My third visit, as I mentioned above, was for a formal black tie event held outdoors at Mr. Combs' property, celebrating his Lifetime Achievement Award from BET that he had received at BET Award Show earlier that day. There were many people in attendance at this event, including high-profile artists and producers. However, plaintiff would not have been there as it was late June 2022, and I can state without hesitation, I observed no underage girls, S workers, or drug use at the party. So we already talked about how there's the party and then there's the after party. So she's basically saying she was probably at the party part of it. My final visit to Mr. Combs' home in Los Angeles occurred in July/August of 2022 timeframe. The purpose of the visit was to discuss the delivery and release schedule for the Love Record Inc. album and to have a face-to-face conversation with Mr. Combs to make sure that we met the release schedule deadlines. Again, this meeting preceded plaintiff's own claim start of his work of for Mr. Combs and Love Records Inc. I observed no underage girls or S workers or drug use there. I have no recollection of ever having met Rodney Jones, the plaintiff in this action. As far as I know, he was never present any of the 4 times I visited Mr. Combs' property in Los Angeles. Indeed, according to plaintiff's own timeline in his amended complaint, it would have been physically impossible for me to have ever met him at Mr. Combs' house in Los Angeles because my visits there all preceded the commencement of his alleged work for Mr. Combs in September 2022. So she's like, I was not there. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not there. Motown enters into a license agreement with Love Records Inc. I am aware that the first amended complaint claims that Motown Records was the parent company of Love Records and that the new proposed complaint claims that Motown Records or UMG Recording was a general partnership with Love Records Inc. As of the time I left Motown Records in November 2022, both of those assertions are completely false. So her declaration is not in support of him. Her declaration is in support of her old employer. To my knowledge and understanding, Love Records Inc. was a company owned by Mr. Combs, whether directly or through his companies, I don't know. Instead, I will explain below. Motown Records entered into a license agreement to distribute a single album featuring the performance of Mr. Combs that was to be or had been recorded by Love Records Inc. This is a commonplace agreement in the music industry. At some point in the spring of 2022, I entered into discussions with Sean Combs and his counsel, Kenny Mislas, about Motown Records potentially entering into a licensing agreement with Mr. Combs' company, Love Records Inc., for the right to obtain or distribute a new album featuring Mr. Combs as an artist. To my knowledge, as of that time, Mr. Combs had not recorded as an artist for many years. That's what I was thinking. I was like, why does he even need a record label if he has his own record label? But anyway, she said he hasn't performed as an artist for many years. That's what I thought. That's what I thought too. So she just confirmed it for us. And this would be his first album on Love Records Inc. So he started a new record label instead of just using his old crusty one. I visited Mr. Combs' home studio at or around the time the license agreement was being negotiated. As I recall, Martha Braithwaite, an attorney within UMG Recording, negotiated the agreement with Mr. Macelas to listen to the recordings that Mr. Combs had already recorded. It was originally contemplated when Motown Records entered into the license agreement with Love Records that Motown Records was going to be licensing for distribution a nearly completed album, and the advance payment, some amount of royalties or profit shares, are commonly advanced and recouped from the income generated by recordings, would actually serve to reimburse Love Records Inc. for the recording costs if it had incurred in producing the album. Let's see. On or about May 4, 2022, Motown Records and Love Records Inc. entered into a license agreement whereby Motown Records obtained the right to distribute for a defined period of time a single album that was tentatively titled the Love Album. I understand that a redacted copy of the license agreement is attached to the accompanying declaration of Ms. Braithwaite as Exhibit A here too. In public statements announcing the license agreement, I am aware that both Motown Records and Love Records Inc. expressed their excitement at partnering with respect to Mr. Combs' forthcoming album. This was a colloquial use of the term partner and partnering. Motown Records and Love Records were not partners in any legal sense, but we were going to be working together with respect to the production and distribution of the album under the licensing agreement. To my knowledge, any assertion that Motown Records or UMG Recording was in a general partnership with Love Records is false. Okay, while I've stated the original contemplation of the license agreement was that Love Records would be delivering an album that was substantially complete, at some point thereafter, Mr. Combs decided that he wanted to create and record additional tracks. While I was chairperson and CEO of Motown Records, um, while I was chairperson and CEO, Motown Records did not financially sponsor or provide security for the writers' camp or listening sessions. Remember, what is his name? Rodney is alleging that Diddy should not have been spending his money on alcohol and drugs. She's basically rebutting that, saying we did not pay for like the listening sections or like while they were in the studio. The amended complaint makes allegations about the supposed obligation of Motown Records and UMG Recordings to provide security at writers' camps and or listening sessions at Mr. Combs' home, and claims that Motown Records or UMG Recordings sponsored the camps and or listening sessions. While I was chairperson and CEO of Motown Records, to my knowledge, Motown Records never financially sponsored any so-called writer camps or listening sessions and did not provide or pay for security for Love Records Inc. I expect that if there were any security, that would have been the obligation of Love Records Inc., which was running the writers camp and any listening sessions. My understanding is consistent with what is stated in the accompanying declaration of Miss Braithwaite. Love Records Inc., not Motown Records or UMG Recordings, was responsible for security at any Love Recordings writer camp or listening session. Moreover, as I have said, the only listening session I ever attended at Mr. Combs' Los Angeles property, the only one I ever visited, was before the license agreement was entered into in order to listen to the recordings he had already made in his home studio. I do not know if there was any security at Mr. Combs' home, but if there were, my understanding is that he or one of his companies would have been responsible for it, not Motown Records. With respect to the writers' camp at Chalice Studios, in September 2021, I did briefly visit the studio to hear some of the new tracks that had been recorded or were in the process of being recorded. I have no recollection of meeting plaintiff at Chalice Studios. There were a number of different rooms there, and it may be that plaintiff was in a different area than I was in, if he was there at all. Regardless, at the time I was in Chalice Studios, there was no shooting inside or nearby. Okay, she said September 2021, but she doesn't give a date. So she could have been there on a different date. I did not make and am not aware of any cash payments being paid to Love Records or Mr. Combs by Motown Records or UMG Recordings. In addition to accusing me of engaging in criminal racketeering enterprise, which is categorically untrue, the First Amendment complaint accused me, Lucian Grange, Motown Records, and UMG Recordings of having participated in, aided and abetted, and helped to conceal alleged trafficking by Mr. Combs and his colleagues. These are vile and deeply upsetting accusations and are completely untrue. As I understand it, the foundational basis of these claims is are in the first amended complaint, and they have no basis in facts. Are the false assertions that Motown Records was the parent company of Love Records Inc., and that Lucian Grange and I both attended listening parties at various of Mr. Combs' homes at which such alleged trafficking occurred. I never attended any such listening parties, and Motown Records was not the parent company of Love Records. I am not aware of Lucian Grange ever visiting any of Mr. Combs' homes. I understand that in a proposed new complaint, plaintiff has now abandoned every one of these allegations. As I understand the allegations of the First Amended complaint, it is also claimed that I, Lucian Grange, Motown Records, and or UMG Recording delivered cash to Mr. Combs, allegedly millions of dollars, and concealed this alleged delivery of cash by filling a file required tax forms. Again, I understand that this allegation has also been abandoned in the new proposed complaint. That's a good thing to abandon. It's going to be very hard for them to track any type of cash payment if he was not aware of like where the cash is being stored or anything like that. So I'm glad he abandoned that claim. I never gave any cash to Mr. Combs or Love Records Inc., and I am not aware of any cash ever being provided to Mr. Combs or Love Records Inc. or anyone else associated with Combs by Lucian Grange, Motown Records, or UMG Recording while I was employed by Motown Records. Rather, to my knowledge, under the licensing agreement, there was a provision for the payment or reimbursement of certain recording costs and other legitimate expenses of Love Records Inc. that were invoiced. I have no reason to believe that Mr. Combs could or did misuse any of the monies Motown Records was required to pay Love Records under the license agreement. So if he's invoicing things and he's claiming that he spent all this money on studio time, but he was really spending it on drug liquor bottles, then he can be in trouble with Motown for that. Mr. Blackburn's proffered to let me out of the case if I gave him a declaration presenting a false narrative. So saying that the attorney asked for a false statement from her. Being falsely accused of criminal conduct is deeply upsetting to me. I did no wrong. I never saw or participated in any alleged racketeering enterprise, and I never saw, aided or abetted, or tried to conceal any trafficking activity. I did not distribute cash to Mr. Combs or anyone else. In short, there is no basis for any of the claims asserted against me, and I should never have been named as a defendant in the lawsuit, hence why she's removed. After the filing of the amended complaint, Mr. Jones' counsel, Tyrone Blackburn, approached me and proposed to dismiss me from the case if I would provide a declaration. He sent over a proposed declaration to my personal counsel, but the declaration he presented was materially false and I would not and could not sign it. Oh, not going against his attorney. My counsel provided a revised declaration that addressed the topics that Mr. Blackburn addressed and corrected his false narrative. I'm aware that Mr. Blackburn found my truthful version to be unsatisfactory to him, and he presented yet another version that again presented a false narrative. My counsel again provided Mr. Blackburn with a revised version of the declaration, which again tried to correct his false narrative. As can be seen from the declaration itself, which is less than 2 pages, it summarizes my employment history with UMG Recording and Motown Records. It notes Motown's license agreement with Love Records Inc. and goes on to confirm that I have no knowledge supporting Jones' claim that Motown or UMG sponsored listening parties or writers' camps, or Motown or UMG made cash payments to Mr. Combs or Love Records. I provided that declaration, through my person, it should be through, but it says though my personal counsel, through my personal counsel to Mr. Blackburn, shortly after Jones filed a dismissal of the case as against me as a defendant. I am informed and believe that Mr. Blackburn has falsely represented to various social media sites and other media outlets that I agreed to testify against Mr. Combs. This is completely untrue. I have no personal knowledge of any wrongdoing by Mr. Combs, and there is nothing I could testify to that would be against his interest. I have never indicated in the declaration or otherwise that I have any intention of testifying against Mr. Combs or otherwise testifying on behalf of plaintiff. So that is the end of her declaration. It's not in support of the plaintiff. It sounds like they couldn't get enough information, or at least in her words, the information that they wanted from her. So they basically dismissed her from the lawsuit because they couldn't find anything that she really did wrong, or she didn't have enough information to implicate Diddy. So now it makes sense why she was dismissed. She's not testifying for the benefit of Diddy, but she may be she may be brought by the defense to say that this thing didn't happen. The thing about working for music labels, though, is she's gonna have like a non-disparagement. Most likely her employment contract had a non-disparagement clause in it, a non-compete clause in it, probably all kind of clauses to where she cannot speak negatively about the company. And if speaking negatively about Diddy would have also included speaking negatively about the company, then she would not be able to do it, and she could possibly be in breach of her own employment contract, which usually goes beyond the time of working for that company. Especially like when we're talking about a severance package, she probably signed something to get out of that as well. So there's those things to consider as well. So let's go ahead and check out the chat, and then after that, we're gonna be done here. Okay, y'all, we are at 134 likes. Shout out to the Bree Hive with 66 people still watching live. Like, it's not y'all bedtime yet because it's mine. It's okay. Let's go ahead and jump in the chat and see what the people have to say. We got Rachel Mills saying Chris Melcher probably couldn't be their go-to because he repped Kanye as far as the lawyer for Diddy. Upside Down says, to me, contact swoop, she does docs. Yes, I know. I watch her channel. Small says, and don't forget to hit the like button if you haven't already. Yes, of course. Thank you for the reminder. Spicy Vet Med says, I always try to find as much info from multiple sources about a singer and use critical thinking. Hasn't steered me wrong yet. I always ask too many questions. Cute in school though. Right? Yeah. And with celebrities, it's hard. It's hard. You're not going to be able to avoid all the bad ones, right? And then what's the definition of bad, right? Crystal DeSaro says, I watched a YouTube video a long time ago about Jamie Foxx spilling the tea on the diddler. The diddler. There was even a conspiracy theory when Fox was in the hospital, Jamie Foxx was in the hospital, that P. Diddy had something to do with it. I wouldn't be surprised with it. I wouldn't be surprised with that. All the Happy Squirrel says, I wonder if BET is regretting that award now. I feel like they're going to stand behind him until they can prove, or that until he's like convicted of something. I think they're going to stand behind him until then. Spicy Vet Med Geek says BT might be regretting a few awards they handed out by the end of this storm. Yeah, agreed. Upside Down says BET showcased the gangsters who run the industry. They own them at this point. Just Me MD says it's interesting where does mandated reporting come in? Many states have mandated reporting for child abuse for regular citizens, along with those in medical, legal, counseling, teacher, and child care roles. I don't know what their laws are in that state. We don't have that in California as lawyers. Doctors, school, social workers, they are mandated reporters, but like us as lawyers are not. Mackenzie says Diddy short for P Diddler. Love it. Love it. Just Me MD says, so no one called law enforcement or CPS for knowing that there was trafficking of underage children. No, they were all like deep into it. It's a horrible, horrible thing. Ridiculous. Upside Down says itty bitty Diddy. What is wrong with you guys? Crystal DeSaro says to Mackenzie, I can't take credit for the diddler. It was trending on Twitter, on X the other day, and it stuck. I can't call him anything else now. That's a good one, though. I love that. Upside Down says, if you know about it, you're complicit if you don't report it. Yeah, I agree with that. I think that the other adults there that's just watching it go on are part of the problem. Upside Down, if a kid is being abused, you see it and do nothing, you're complicit. Agreed. Mackenzie says, I have a feeling we'll all be referencing the diddler for at least a year. Yeah. Diddler's back at it. Mackenzie says Spicy Vet Med is my spirit animal, right? And then I don't know what happened to Kimmy, or I don't know. Kimmy, did you pull all the chats? I felt like there was more, but that's okay. Your girl. Okay, sounds good. All right, y'all. That is the end of the live stream. Let me see where we're at with our likes. We're at that 134 likes. Shout out to the Bree Hive for hitting the like goal. Definitely appreciate it. Surpassing the like goal, getting 2 plays of our wonderful video that I still need to correct, but that's okay. It's still fun. So we did a good job. This was a good coverage of what has changed. I think it was good to go through Ethiopia's declaration and just kind of put out there that she is not on Diddy's side, or she's not on anybody's side. She's not on Diddy's side, and she's also not on the plaintiff's side. She's not testifying on behalf of the plaintiff. And apparently they potentially tried to put a false narrative on her desk. And I'm pretty sure they're going to subpoena those documents that freaking plaintiff's attorney wrote for her, because they are not attorney-client privilege. He could probably try to argue attorney-client work product, but he gave it to this witness to try to sign. So that stuff is probably going to come in. Now, could we say hearsay or whatever because the attorney wrote it? Potentially. But yeah, that was not a smart move for the plaintiff's attorney to write a declaration on the behalf of a witness and try to get her to sign it. That was a really stupid move. I'm glad that he removed some of the claims, talking about they were paid in cash. He's never going to be able to prove that. Never going to be able to prove that unless he have videos of her handing cash, or the music industry directors handing cash directly to Diddy for that purpose. And even if they're handing cash to him, they don't even know what the purpose is. Motown is trying to say, no, we are squeaky clean as our records. We do things by the book. We do things by business. We are not trying to avoid taxes and support Diddy and supplying people with drugs and alcohol. That's just not what we're doing. And I think that they're, as a big company as they are, they're going to have a lot of people to back them up on that. And so I think he might be in the best interest to drop all of those record labels and just go after the normal people, or the individuals like Diddy, his son, Cuba Gooding Jr. And my thing is, like, did y'all add Cuba because he just got convicted, or that he just got found? I think his was a guilty thing, just because he just lost his lawsuit, right? I'm wondering if that's why they added him in at the last minute. So there is that. We are wrapping up to the end of the live stream, and we are going to have to do our MVB, but I don't think that she's here anymore. We had Deacon Fatal up, we had Mackenzie up, and then we had Z Seltzer up. Kimmy Locker is voting for Mackenzie Carter. I think we had a couple of votes in for Deacon Fatal and then one vote in for Z Seltzer. So I think the winner is, I don't think I have a drum roll, please, but I think that, what is this? Oh no, what's this? Oh no, that's all wrong. All of those are wrong. They're all in the bee's knees. All in the bee's knees. Right. Oh, can we take off the ticker? Where'd it go? Okay. Thank you, Kimmy. Yeah, so I think the winner is Deacon Fatal. Dropped 20 Boss Attorney Bree memberships and then also a $20 super chat. Definitely appreciate the support from Mackenzie Carter Cameron and also Z Seltzer. Mackenzie dropped 5 Boss Attorney Bree memberships, and Z Seltzer dropped a $5 super sticker. Definitely appreciate it. I appreciate all the support. I appreciate all of the likes on the stream. This was a wonderful stream. Thank you guys for making it amazing. Like I said, I thought about not streaming today, but you guys made my day, made it a good stream. Don't know what we're covering on Thursday, but we should be live on Thursday going over some other crazy nonsense that's out there in the universe for us to cover here on the Bree Hive. Like I said throughout the live stream, I don't want to be famous, but I do love my little corner here on YouTube and definitely appreciate the support. I hope everyone has a wonderful night, and I will see y'all all on the next live stream. Bye.